that you never arrive, even when you do. We arrived in 74, 75, 78, and 79. What's left of the Pittsburgh Steelers is one for the Tom in 81.
So tonight you'll see the Pittsburgh Steelers back in action against the Atlanta Falcons.
From the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. ABC's NFL preseason football, the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Atlanta Falcons. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Datsun, who would like to remind you that it's a long way to empty in a Datsun. A long way. And by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
It is like a steam bath here in the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. The heat is oppressive. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to NFL Monday Night Football on ABC, quite appropriately on a Friday night. A preseason game, Atlanta against Pittsburgh. The Falcons, 2 years ago in the playoffs, scared the daylights out of the Dallas Cowboys. Almost beat them with their famed kamikaze defense. Leveled Staubach out of the game.
Most receivers are going to play tonight. Alfred Jenkins and, of course, Francis Wallace. They combined last year. Fran for 120 passes. Billy Rickman's also hurt. So he's got a bit of a problem tonight. But Terry Bradshaw's got nothing but eagles around him.
He's got eagles around him, and Stallworth and Swan. And Bradshaw hasn't played this preseason. He had a stomach virus last week in New York. But everybody's heard about Bradshaw. The guy you haven't heard about is that great quarterback, that backup quarterback of Bradshaw, Cliff Stout, who comes out of Youngstown State. He's been in the National Football League for 3 years and is a truly great quarterback. And I think we need to chronicle his NFL experience, which spans those 3 years. Let's look at it. There's Cliff Stout. Doesn't get hurt standing on the sidelines. Occasionally he gets into the strategy sessions, but he finds something of more interest in the stands and doesn't get to say much in those sessions. But really, old Stout is quite a cheerleader. And when Craig Colquitt comes off the field, he's the first to press the flesh to tell him what a great corner kick he made. But when he really shines is when his main #1 man, Bradshaw, goes back in the pocket, scans the field, and finds old Swanee down in the right corner. And there he's got him for another touchdown and a roll on the road to the Super Bowl. As you'll see, old Stout here is in the inset. He'll be writing down on his little pad, touchdown Bradshaw. All right, Frank, we're going to go right to the game and kick this thing off and see if the Falcons can stay with those Steelers.
And those earnings were postseason earnings for Stout, who's never taken a snap in a regular season game. We'll see him tonight. He was excellent against the Giants in the preseason opener for the Steelers a week ago. Set to go now. The Pittsburgh Steelers will kick off. Matt Barr will kick. Deep is Reggie Smith. They call him Super Nat. He's 5'4", 165-pounder, and he'll have his opportunity from his own end zone. The Super Nat, a rookie who's been playing semi-pro football, pounds out over the 20 to the 23, taken there by Larry Douglas. So we'll see the Atlanta offense first, and let's take a look at them. We told you about Steve Bartkowski coming off his best year. His running backs will be second-year man William Andrews, a 1,000-yard gainer of a year ago, coming back from an injury. Lynn Kane, severe surgery, they say he's fine. And we'll see Alfred Jackson replacing Al Jenkins. We'll see Brian Sweeney, a rookie from Texas A&I, replacing Wallace Francis. First down, Atlanta. The ball at the 22-yard line. They lost their first preseason game a week ago to Seattle. And this is William Andrews. Andrews with a gain of a yard and a half. And the Steelers are saying they have the football. And number 76 does indeed come up with it, John Banaszak. For the Steelers, a turnover, very first play. And the Steelers will now bring out their offensive unit. John Banaszak, who has been one of the few healthy Steeler defensive linemen over the years. Let's meet the offense. First is Terry Bradshaw, seeing his first action of this young preseason, opening at quarterback, number 12, Super Bowl MVP, Mr. Everything for the Steelers. We expect he will go for a half. Franco Harris is in there. He did not play last week, number 32, the great one. Rocky Blyer is in there, number 20. He'll alternate tonight with Greg Hawthorne, the second-year man from Baylor. Wide receiver, Stallworth, 82, Len Swan, 88. You know the names. the Super Bowl champions. And Franco Harris tries it up over the middle, gets a yard and a half. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Benny Cunningham, the tight end, number 89.
Frank, the Falcons had a kamikaze defense a couple of years ago, and everybody liked it. They got great results from it. Last year, they didn't do so well. This year, they've gone to a 3-man line with 4 linebackers, and they looked pretty good against Seattle a week ago with it.
2nd down, a little more than 8. The ball resting right at the 20-yard line. Bradshaw looks it over, puts Stallworth and Swan both to the left, hands off inside Rocky Blyer. Blyer finds a hole. He exploits it down to about the 14-yard line. Short of the 1st down, it'll be 3rd and short, about 2.5.
Pennywell, the youngster from Grambling College who's done so well as a free agent, motion that Atlanta had gotten the football. But Rocky gives it up, but rarely.
There is Franco Harris. He needs 35 yards this coming regular season to pass Jim Taylor and to move in 3rd place. And you see the 3-4 defense that the Atlanta Falcons intend to use exclusively this year. There is their secondary. They're short on the corners. Rick Bias and Roland Lawrence. Short yardage, 3rd, we'll call it 3. Motion Blyer. Harris pecking along the line of scrimmage, looking for that opening. And Harris turned back, I believe, short of the 1st down. Tom Pridemore coming up there from free safety. A good, hard-hitting safety. It's going to be very close. We'll see.
Crowd, as you can hear, takes this seriously, even though it's merely a preseason game. Which, of course, is understandable, and that's their right. Frank mentioned the corners are short, talking about the secondary of Atlanta. And that's exactly why they went to the 3-4, the point that Sir Francis made. They went to the 3-4. They drafted heavily for linebackers. They're using the linebackers on deep drops, 15 to 18 yards, hoping they can help the defensive secondary.
You saw how much was needed for the 1st down. We'll see 2 tight ends. Typically for the Steelers, Cunningham remains. And Ray Sidnor, a rookie from Wisconsin, a 3rd-round draft pick, number 48, is in as the other tight end. 4th, less than a yard. Blyer in motions. Franco will follow. I don't know, Howard. Very close. I believe Franco Harris has the 1st, as so indicated. But that score did not reflect the yardage they rolled up. They did just about anything they wanted to do, and they did it at will. And this man didn't play. Swan played very little. Stallworth very little. Blyer didn't play. Bradshaw didn't play. They're loaded.
But Cliff Stout did.
Cliff Stout had him quite a night. We'll see him tonight, too. He was 15 of 26 against the Giants.
With the 70,000 he's collected, he should.
1st and 10, the ball inside the 11. Bradshaw dumps it off to Harris. And Harris taken out of bounds after a gain of maybe 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Up there quickly, Frank Reed, defensively for Atlanta, number 28.
Harris is an amazing man. The way he keeps his incentive. I don't think I've ever seen him look forward to a year more than he's looked forward to this year, nor has he ever been in such great condition. Remember, this is a man 30 who is probably at the very peak of his football life.
The only player in the history of this game to have 1,000-yard seasons 6 straight years. He's had 7 of them. 2nd down, 9. Ball resting right at the 10-yard line. Would have been too much time. Procedure call against the Steelers.
It was too long in the huddle, Frank. Obviously, it's because of the inexperience of the quarterback, Bradshaw, Howard.
Yes, of course.
Hot, warm night. Let's hear referee Gene Barton.
79 offense, false start. Still 2nd down.
All right, it was Larry Brown on a false start. Right tackle, number 79. You won't see that often. A very poised and approaching all-pro status. Larry Brown at right tackle, the former tight end. On 2nd and long. Bradshaw back looking. Dances. Swan is open. He has it at the goal line. He may have the 1st down. He'll be close to it.
Forgive me for chuckling, Frank. They are so great. They always appear able to do what must be done when it must be done.
Well, here's Bradshaw. In my opinion, he is far and away the finest quarterback in the game today. Watch him scramble. He can move. He knows where he is on the field, finds the open man, and, of course, he has a pretty good guy to work through in Swan.
Reed saved the touchdown for Atlanta. Here it is again.
And look at Swan
looking around.
Just gets into the open spot, doesn't move around. When he had the spot, he just stayed there. Didn't have to put a lot of moves on. Did his job.
Just kangaroo leaps, that's all.
And it's just short of a first down at about the 1-yard line. Ben Swan did not have the great year that he has had in previous years a year ago. But nevertheless, he is a constant threat. And when you have a stalwart on the other side, I don't know of any team that has these kind of receivers on the outside. Fran, you've seen a lot of them. They can just destroy you. They can go across the middle. They can take it deep. They can do anything.
I don't know if I've ever seen two receivers on one team that's had as many good years as these two have. I think they're the best that's ever played the game on one team.
Swanee was hurt a bit, of course, a year ago by injuries.
Hamstring, ankle. Third and short. Franco Harris. Flag is down. And Harris will go down under the arms of Tom Pridemore. But a flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
I tell you, Giff, this crowd's hopped up over a preseason game.
Offsides indicated against Atlanta. And Steelers, of course, will take that penalty. The down will remain the same. You can see that there was a sellout crowd. It was not sold out within the 72-hour limit. Therefore, there's no television in the Atlanta area. That, of course, the NFL rule. But it's a packed crowd. We had a tremendous thunderstorm just before the game. The field was awash.
58, offside, first down.
Offsides. And short yardage. Inside handoff. Franco Harris piled up. Short. Harris gets the call. One change we have in the lineup. You see number 74. That's Ray Penny. He is filling in for Sam Davis, a left guard for the Steelers. Penny is 74. Davis with a sore foot, the oldest member of the Steelers, and he gets a breather tonight.
Whether they score or not, Giff, I'm impressed with Atlanta's defense down here in the trenches. They're playing it tough.
It's all Wilson Famuina. And if he ever plays up to his potential, well, it is definitely all pro potential. He just has not been able to come up to it in the past 3 years. Second. Bradshaw has to hurry. Beautiful catch by Blyer. Look at this. Well, Bradshaw miraculously got it away, and Blyer made a great catch.
This is really some play, fans. Watch this. Bradshaw's play pass action. Fakes the run to Harris. He's rushed hard. Gets the ball up. Blyer goes behind himself to get the ball, then makes a super effort. Breaks 2 tackles. Carries a man with him in the end zone. He does have courage.
Oh, he's one of the most remarkable men I have ever known in any avenue of life. They're making a movie on his life right now. Robert Urich is playing Rocky Blyer, the Vietnam War hero who almost lost a leg.
Matt Barr for the conversion. The Steelers out on top, 7-0. They move from the 20-yard line following a fumble, and Blyer made a tremendous catch to put the Steelers on the scoreboard. We'll be back in Atlanta in a moment. Last week, the spy 465-pounder returned 3 kickoffs for 85 against the Seattle Seahawks. Here comes Matt Barr with the kickoff for the Steelers. Hangs it high, and Supernat will get an opportunity from the 5. And out to the 33-yard line. Nice return. Hitting the gap, J.T. Thomas made the stop out there. And let's take a look at the offensive line for the Atlanta Falcons. McCusker, of course, at tight end, replacing a retired Mitchell. There is Bryant, could be a great one. R.C. Thielman, a right guard. Van Note's been around for about 12 years. Dave Scott on the left side. And Mike Ken, another #1 draft pick on the left side 3 years ago, could also be great. They just have not played up to that potential yet. First and 10 at the 33-yard line. The motion man, Brian Sweeney. Handoff goes to Lynn King. Game piled up on the right side, and let's take a look at that Steeler defense. They ranked 2nd in the NFL last year overall. They were first offensively overall, Quite a collection. Let's meet them. They play, of course, mostly the 4-3. Banaszak, the only one that stayed healthy in that front four. Robin Cole is tough against the run. Lambert is back after a minor injury. And Jack Ham, of course, the best in the business. Second down. Call it 8. Ball out at the 34-yard line. Bartkowski has the time. Lays it up. It's a foot race down the sidelines. And it was Alfred Jackson, the third-year man out of Texas, working against Ron Johnson, a third-year man out of Eastern Michigan. And Kane, 21. Andrews, 31. Setbacks for Atlanta. Kane coming off knee surgery all season. Bartkowski, a lot of time. Fires complete to William Andrews, and Andrews short of the first down. He is out to about the 38-yard line. It'll be fourth down.
Tim Mazzetti.
Bartending Fred fell on hard times last year, Howard.
Yes, and he doesn't bartend that much anymore, though he still occasionally dabbles in it. Hi, Timmy boy. Out of the University of Pennsylvania, 5 field goals against the Los Angeles Rams on a Monday night. They beat the Rams that night, and Mazzetti became a national figure for 24 hours.
But last year he fell on hard times. They booed him out of the ballpark here. He's going to lose his job, and this is a big night for him tonight.
Last year he was 13 of 25. We're looking at John James. He came back with a big year. And let's go downfield now and pick up Jim Smith, the punt return man. But speaking of Mazzetti, a year ago, Mazzetti did 13 of 25, and he missed 6 of 37 extra points. Now, that was not your best year.
No, he really wasn't. And you know, he was riding high for so long, and it was a really emotional downer for him last year.
It was hard to get everyone involved because they switch them around so much, taking a look at a lot of players on special teams. James set to kick. Oh, and it's a beauty. He hangs it high. Smith is back there. No fair catch, and he's bored under. Back. Oh, at the 28-yard line. Hustling down there, a host of Atlanta Falcons. So the Steelers will have a 1st and 10, the ball at their own 28 when we return. Then the Steelers. Ball marked at the progress of Smith at the 30. Bradshaw up on top. Fires out. Picked off or no, incomplete. And close to being picked off. It was Rick Bias.
The most maligned guy in that secondary, of a maligned secondary, is Rick Bias, number 38. People say he's too short. People say he's too slow. But right here, he's covering as good a receiver this in the business, and watch him almost make the interception. Cannot ask for a defensive back to play any better than that, with one exception. Catch the ball when you make the play.
Rick Bias was there. He is small, 5'9". He gives up 3, 4, 5, 6 inches to every receiver he covers. 2nd and 10. Steelers leading 7-11. Goes to Harris. Harris brings it on the right side, out close to the 35-yard line. Larry Brown, the big right tackle, number 70.
And Terry threw his first touchdown pass ever to an end named Ranklin. He's a troubled man now because of domestic distress.
And he's troubled with the 3rd and 7 at the moment. And loads and just off the fingertips of Vinny Cunningham. And, well, you just know that that's the kind of pass, and the one that was almost intercepted 2 plays ago, that Bradshaw will be right on. The Super Nat is in for Atlanta. This is Craig Colquitt. And the Nat drifts back close to his 10-yard line. And I'll tell you, he turns the crowd on.
All right, let's quickly
out to the 18.
Frank, let's quickly get back to the Bradshaw story. JoJo, his wife, has filed for divorce. Does it hurt his concentration? Here's Terry.
Well, I'd be lying if I said that I'm not having trouble concentrating right now, because it would be a lie. But and I would be lying if I said that I'm having a great camp and that it won't affect my preseason play. I'm working hard at trying not to let it affect me, because I realize the obligation to the football team that I have, and it's important that I play well. So on that alone, I'm working hard at trying not to let it affect me emotionally. Right now, it's very difficult.
Not an easy situation. Squarely met by Terry Bradshaw, a great gentleman. And I feel sorry for both of them because I've known JoJo for 20 years of my life, and she's a great lady. Tough situation, Gib.
All right, Lynn Kane, you saw a moment ago, picked up 3.5 yards. Second down, 7, quick toss, goes back to Kane. Kane cuts back, hits to the 30-yard line, short of the first down, it'll be third down, and along to Robin Cole in there defensively. And there's Reggie Smith, we told you about him. 3rd and 3. Steelers, 11 men on the line of scrimmage. Bartkowski reads it, goes to the air, fires out. Complete there, and complete to the big tight end, McKeska, and he was being wrestled to the ground by Donnie Shell. But it's a first down for Atlanta. Bartkowski saw that alignment of the Steelers, changed it off, found McKeska, first down Atlanta.
Well, what was interesting, Frank, here we are in preseason. Pittsburgh safety blitz that time. J.T. Thomas came on a blitz along with the linebackers. It does show Bartkowski's maturity. He hit the short receiver, and then the short receiver made a good play on Shell and got the first down.
Again, wide receivers, Brian Sweeney, 86, a rookie from Texas A&I, in there with Bartkowski on 1st and 10. Going in the middle, McKeska makes a great catch inside the 45-yard line of the Steelers. Russ McKeska.
Tell me competition doesn't help. They drafted Junior Miller out of Nebraska, #1. McKeska's a second-year tight end. He's the most improved player on this team in training camp. He runs right down the seam. Tight ends have to do this with the double coverage we have today. He did it well. Bartkowski got him the ball.
Of course, Jim Mitchell, the great tight end for the Falcons for so many years, retired. McKeska and Junior Miller, 42-yard line. And this is Kane. Kane spins to the right, runs into Joe Green out there along with Jack Lambert. Bartkowski lifts it over. Makes the change at the line of scrimmage. Moves William Andrews behind the center. Andrews gets the call, finds a little opening. Maybe gets 3 out of it, short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and short. Jack Lambert again, along with Joe Green.
Have to like Billy Andrews, too. He became notable a year ago in the second Monday Night Football game of the season out of Auburn. Mainly a blocker and a receiver coming out of the backfield at Auburn. Tremendous running back. Led Atlanta on that Monday night to a 14-10 victory over the Eagles. Remember?
Defensive change for Pittsburgh. 3rd and about 2.5 for Atlanta. Bartkowski will put it in the air. There's a man open, and it's almost picked off. Bartkowski was late getting the ball to Alfred Jackson, and it was almost picked off by perhaps the best cornerback in the business, Mel Blount.
Boy, he can play. Here's Jackson, a one-on-one against him. Blount is shoving him. He is open. The ball is underthrown. Not a good selection. When you've got 2.5 yards to go, you don't throw the ball 20 yards down the field.
You know what he did there? You saw that replay. He was watching Alfred Jackson. When Jackson looked for the ball, that's when Blount looked. And he was absolutely dead on. What a great player.
Isn't he? Remember when he was the MVP in a Pro Bowl game we did, Gib?
He was the NFL Defensive Player of the Year back in '75. He is a special kind of football player. James now will punt. And a flag drops.
Well, an interesting decision here, Gib.
Too much time.
Atlanta. They're going to push them back, but they had 2.5 yards to go on the 36-yard line. So what if you miss? You know, you're not giving up bad field position.
Well, I think they were going to
5 yards, still 4th down.
They were trying, of course, to pull the Steelers offside. Well, here goes James again. Jim Smith is back for the Steelers. Also, Bill Ring, number 41, Willie Taylor. There's Jim Smith, number 86. James looking for the corner. He's got it. Oh, he's got it in. John James has got it outside of the 10-yard line, close to the 5. John James, been with the Falcons since 1972, has put the Steelers in a hole at their 5-yard line. At their own 6-yard line. John James with a tremendous punt. And this is Franco Harris. Tries the right side, pecks along like he always does, and moves it out to the 10-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I like your phrase, like he always does, as you grab a quick look at some of the Atlanta people, including Lehman Bennett. Because Franco has a way, Fran. He cuts it exactly the right time. So quick.
When they talk of the great backs of the last 10 years, I think he has been the greatest because he's given 9 years of quality football every year.
Bradshaw puts Swan to the right. Looks over a 2nd down and 6. Hands off to Blyer. Blyer keeps his feet, and Blyer gets additional yardage. Moving out to about the 13 or 14 yards. It'll be 3rd down and about 2.
Would you believe that a missile weapon almost tore his left thigh off, and then another, the left leg itself? He lay there in the hospital as a result of Vietnam action. They never believed that man would play football again.
Rocky Blyer, we're speaking of. 16th round draft pick back in 68. 3rd down, 2.5 yards. Blyer gets the call. He's piled up short of the 1st down. Jeff Yates underneath that. And then he got a lot of help from his friends. It'll be 4th down Steelers.
I'll tell you guys, we got us a football game here tonight. The Falcons are standing up, and they're playing them toe-to-toe.
Look at that crowd.
They love their football. It was 3 years ago. The Falcons got to the playoffs. They've gone backwards since then. Here's Craig Colquitt. His last punt, 56 yards. Supernat is back there. Reggie Smith at his own 40, and Colquitt booms along him. Supernat, throwing caution to the wind, gets out over midfield into Steeler territory. 47-yard punt that time by Colquitt.
Giff, as we take another look at Supernat, you remember when Hank Stram was coaching KC and had a similar kid?
Well, I'll tell you what this kid does that all punt returners should do. He runs north and south and not east and west. He gets up the field, and he's absolutely fearless. Some even say he's crazy.
That's what the other kid was. His name was Smith, who played for Stram.
Number 1, Nolan Smith.
Atlanta has the ball inside Steeler territory, just over midfield. Alfred Jackson, 3rd-year man out of Texas, split to the right, filling in for injured Alfred Jenkins. A rookie, Brian Sweeney from Texas A&I, filling in for Wallace Francis. Nudges back to the right, gets it out to William Andrews. The flag is down, and Andrews is down.
And we got a hold
to
of
the 46-yard line. Jack Ham. And even though there was a penalty against Atlanta, Jack Ham, it looked like Andrews was wide open. Yet Jack Ham, this man who, of course, had that broken left foot at the end of last season, could not finish the season, was right there with him and no one covers a receiver coming out of the backfield quite like Jack Ham. 28 interceptions in the regular season.
And he hasn't lost his mobility. Everybody thought it was broken, Frank. You're right. It was pronounced a broken foot. It
Number 66 offense, holding, still 1st down.
It turned out it was dislocated. We talked with him about it earlier today. And it's amazing the way he's recaptured his mobility. Perhaps we'll get a chance to hear him later in the fray.
In the what?
The fray.
All right, we return to the fray at 1st and 21. Following that holding penalty. Barkowski fires a bullet to Lynn Kane. He could not hold on, and Jack Ham was all over Lynn Kane once again. He can go deep, Junior Miller, even though he goes about 235. 2nd down, 21. Barkowski. That one was deflected. It was intended for Junior Miller, and he was open, but the ball was deflected. It could have been Banaszak, who got a big paw on it.
Howard, this team blocks more passes than any team I've ever seen. In the Super Bowl that I played against them in '74, they blocked about 6 of my balls. And here's Barkowski, who's 6'4", and they still block his
Hey, that's
passes.
John Goodman, the rookie from Oklahoma. He's a 6'6" rookie, a 2nd-round draft pick. The Steelers like him, but you have to wonder where he's going to play with Banaszak, Dunn, Green, Greenwood, Furness, White.
That's the problem with any Pittsburgh rookie. Their number 2 draft choice, Kors, the linebacker from Arizona State, may not make it. Yep.
3rd and 20. Andrews is open, far short of the 1st down, out to the 47. We'll see the punting team. Jack Ham made the stop. Jack Ham, 28 interceptions, regular season play. He had 5 ball player like Jack Ham. And let's look at him again. Chuck's Junior Miller, eyes in the backfield.
And he knows where he is on the field. He's got great presence.
He knew Andrews could get some yardage and not get the 1st down. He wanted to make sure of the tackle. Jim Smith is deep. This is John James punting away, and boy, he hangs another high one. And he's caught this again. James puts this one out inside the 10.
Yes, but
John James, thus far, he's the franchise tonight for the Falcons. We'll be returning to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium in a moment. And Tarkenton, 34 seconds remaining in the first quarter of the preseason game from Atlanta. The Steelers out in front 7-0. The Steelers have the football, first and 10, the ball at their own 7-yard line. We have James in the backfield. This is Greg Hawthorne, second-year man out of Baylor, and he is swarmed under by Atlanta, and they're playing this one like a regular season game, at least the Falcons are. Bradshaw, who apparently will go at least a half a football, moves up as we begin the second quarter, looking over second down and 10. Ball on the 8-yard line. Swan, stalwart remain. And getting the call is Russell Davis, first-year man out of Michigan. Had 16 attempts last week against the Giants for 83 yards. They taking a lot of long look at these new running backs, Fred.
all right, they just had regular man-on-man blocking, and he just hit the hole. Russell Davis was on the injured reserve last year. Feels like he's got to make his mark quick. He did last week, as you look at his picture there, out of Michigan, and he's starting off again tonight well.
Gets the first down at the 19-yard line. Missed all of the season as a fourth-round draft pick a year ago with a broken arm. To the 42-yard line. Roland Lawrence made the stop. Bradshaw with the play action found Hawthorne wide open.
And here's their number one pick in 79, and they want him to be a great player. They need him because they've got age in their backfield with Blyer and Franco Harris. They need a great back to come out of the fold. He ran a good pattern, caught the ball well, and Bradshaw seems to be on target again.
Well, you won't see Thornton tonight, who's quite a player, and young Fran. He's injured, but Hawthorne is ready to explode.
They mark it inside the 42, first and 10. Strong arm, but Stallworth is there. Comes down with the football. It could have been 6 if Bradshaw would have let him just a little bit. He ran right by Rick Bias, and that might be why Bias is maligned somewhat, Fran.
Well, but he also, Bias should have had some help from the safety man, Pridemore, 27. You'll see him come over late. He's got to get inside help here. He didn't get the inside help. But in fact, Stallworth blew by him.
It seems to me I've seen that scene before.
Look, we watch Stallworth. He is by him, but watch him make an adjustment on the underthrown ball. Many receivers would drop this ball. He doesn't.
He's so right. He used his body to shield the ball from Bias. Gets the first down at the 15-yard line. Bradshaw back again. He wants to... this will be caught out of bounds. Bradshaw wanted to get the points quickly. Again, working against Rick Bias is John Stallworth.
The way he uses Stallworth now is perhaps the best evidence of the way Terry has grown through the years as a quarterback. A right-hander, the natural instinct, as you look at John, is to throw to the right side, to Lynn Swan, which was what he habitually did. As they began to double on Lynn, he began to learn to throw left to Stallworth, and thus he has perfect pair, each complementing the other.
Now he has a 6-foot 4-inch tight end who can catch just about anything in his area, Benny Cunningham. An awesome collection of football talent. Second and 10. Bradshaw, screen to the flanker, Stallworth. Stallworth makes a little bit out of it, and a flag is down. As you can see, Stallworth getting down close to the 10-yard line.
Frank, probably is going to be a clip there, but Howard started developing a story last year about middle round draft choices. Now you look at Stallworth, you think he's a number one choice because he plays so well. He was drafted in the 4th round.
Exactly, in the famed 1974 Pittsburgh Steelers draft. This whole Pittsburgh team is a story of the draft. There it is. Good work, Mr. O'Neill and Mr. Forty. Lynn Swan, Lambert, Stallworth, and Mike Webster from that draft. The 71 Pittsburgh Steelers draft laid the nucleus for the whole Knoll rebuilding program.
The wiggle use of the hands, number 27 offense. Still second down.
But the original nucleus was Mean Joe Green in 69 and Terry in 70. Not till 80 did they again draft a man number 1 who was a quarterback. This year, Mark Malone.
Penalty was against Greg Hawthorne. Illegal use of the hands. The ball back at the 22-yard line. Bradshaw immediately up on top. Fires and it's complete, and then bobble, I believe, it was stripped. And Atlanta recovers. That was ruled complete. I believe it was Cunningham, the tight end.
Well, here's another evidence of Bradshaw again. He's in a hole, long yardage. He finds the open receiver. He goes to the big man, Cunningham. Cunningham can run. He can get open. He makes the catch, but watch Robert Pennywell, or 58, Joel Williams hit him. Joel Williams really caught him, and that's an interesting story, Howard.
Yes.
He's a free agent that walked in last year out of Shula's camp.
As was Pennywell.
And Pennywell is maybe the biggest hitter on this football team, and they've got a lot of big hitters.
Safety man Tom Pridemore checks in with the coaches upstairs. Atlanta has turned the Steelers back once again. They'll have a 1st and 10. The ball near their own 10-yard line when we come back. Ball inside their own 10-yard line. New setbacks. 44 is Bubba Bean. Haskell standback. Number 24, the other setback for Atlanta. Bean out over the 10, close to the 12-yard line. Well, a knee injury, knee surgery for Bubba, and he never really came back from it. That took place in '77. 2nd and 6. And we are going to lose Bartkowski in the arms of Steve Furness.
Steve Furness.
Furness, who's in a battle with Gary Dunn at that right tackle spot for the Steelers to see who'll be the starter. They alternated last year because of injuries.
Gary defenses the run better, as you know, Frank. Steve, the pass better with that kind of pass rush. Another Pittsburgh Steeler, 4th-round draft choice, Rhode Island. Whoever heard of him?
Ball all the way back to the 3-yard line. It'll be 3rd down, long yardage. 3rd and 15. Some of it back, gets to the 5-yard line before he's covered by L.C. Greenwood and Jack Lambert.
Howard,
4th down.
Howard, to talk about Bubba Bean, he did have Richard Richards. People thought he'd be a great back, but he has not stayed well. To be a great player in this league, you've got to play every week, every year, like a Franco Harris. Bubba Bean has not been able to do that.
All right, James, who has been absolutely brilliant in previous punts tonight, will be kicking from his own end zone. It's Jim Smith dropping for the Steelers, and Smith will station himself close to midfield. Another beautiful punt by James, and it'll be taken by Smith right on the 50-yard line. And Smith took the gamble, went back about 8 or 10 yards, turned it upfield, and gets back close to midfield.
You noted it properly. It was ill-advised to run backwards. That's college play, not pro play. Under any circumstances, I hope you'll stay with us at halftime, because you'll meet our 1980 NFL Monday night schedule. We're very proud of it. We think it's by far the most exciting schedule we have ever had. And you'll see the greatest players and the greatest teams, week in and week out, competitively matched.
Bradshaw has new receivers. Theo Bell, number 83. Jim Smith, number 86. The tight end is Tom Graves. Russell Davis gets the call on 1st and 10. Davis gets the call from the 48-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. There's Mr. Cleo. He won the Cleo Award, and another Pro Bowl visit, by the way. Cleo Award, of course, for the best commercial actor last year. And, of course, if you saw that Coke ad, you know it was brilliant. How could you have missed it?
You couldn't. He took America. He took Pittsburgh, the way Willie Stargell did. Is the soul of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Willie Stargell of the team.
Davis got a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. The ball at the 45-yard line in Atlanta. The Steelers ahead 7-0. This is Russell Davis again, and Davis moves sharply inside the 40-yard line, short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd and about a yard and a half. Upended by Frank Reed and Al Richardson. Richardson 98, Reed 28. Al
Richardson played right here in Atlanta at Georgia Tech. Many people thought that his wheels weren't good enough, that his knee would not hold up in professional football. He wasn't drafted in an early round, but the Falcons think he has great potential, and he's going to make this football team and contribute to a good season.
Not all that big. Now Richardson, an 8th-round draft pick, 6'2", 205 pounds. 3rd and a yard. Davis slips a tackle. And he will be short of the first down, I do believe. Rick Bias moving up there defensively. It'll be close.
Jeff Murrow had a shot at him to put him back for a 3 or 4 yard loss, and Davis got away from that tackle.
Jeff Murrow is a tough kid from West Virginia who was called upon a couple of years back in the clutch and came through brilliantly.
And the reason he was called back, as you know, Howard, because Claude Humphrey left.
That's right. The key to this Atlanta team, however, lies in their draft. It's in their linebackers. They drafted, apart from Junior Miller, primarily for linebackers, a story we will develop as the game flows.
Colquitt comes out on 4th down, less than a yard. Chuck Noll looked it over, thought about it. Bradshaw wanted to go. Noll said no. Here's Colquitt. And the super nap. And we'll see delay of the might make a slip, and he'll have an opportunity for a return. Okay. Nailed it. Angles for the corner, and he has a fine kick. And they're checking it out, and it's going to be marked right at the 10-yard line. So Craig Colquitt has put Atlanta in the hole, and we'll be back in Atlanta in a moment.
Cliff Stout said after they traded Krusek, the backup quarterback a year ago, to Washington, he says, now I've graduated from the clipboard to the headset. But Gift tonight is not even wearing the headset.
Well, I think we're going to see a lot of Stout in the second half.
Well, he patted Colquitt after the fine kick, which was in keeping with your thesis early in the contest.
Atlanta, 1st and 10, their own 10-yard line. Stand back 24, Bubba Bean, 44 setbacks. This is Haskell stand back right at the line of scrimmage, piled up there. No gain whatsoever. Jack Ham in there initially for Pittsburgh.
Frank, next time Chet 40 shows us Cliff Stout, there's a resemblance there, as I think the fans will notice, to Joe Willie Namath.
He does look very similar to Joe. Now, if we ever can see him take a snap.
Raised, 50 to 60 miles away from Beaver Falls in Youngstown.
2nd down, 10. Puts everyone in the pattern, has the time, and fires into a crowd, and deflected and knocked away by Mike Wagner, and a flag goes down. And while they analyze the penalty, it's good to see Mike Wagner back. He had some really severe surgery on a hamstring and a hip from a year ago, and they say he's 100% again.
Well, here comes Bartkowski trying to find his big tight end, Junior Miller, and they want to establish him as a real threat in their offensive game plan, but there's no room there. Ball could have easily been intercepted.
What's the penalty?
Here we go.
Illegal contact, 47 defense, 1st down.
Apparently he was away from the play. The contact made by Mel Blunt, number 47. It'll be 1st down. The ball at the 15-yard line of Atlanta.
Well, I thought it was clear, Frank. It couldn't be 31, Donnie Shell.
No, that was clean. I don't know what Mel Blunt did that time, but Mel Blunt is an excellent defensive back, and he will hit you.
Oh, yes. Again, putting both backs in the pattern. This is stand back. Stand back gets out to the 18-yard line, up into there. Lauren Taves, one of the fine members of this great linebacking crew, made the stop as fisticuffs develop out of the field.
And you're right, Fran. Atlanta's playing this game to win.
And guess who's in the middle of the fisticuffs? Jack Lambert, who now is walking away innocently. To who, me?
Lauren Taves filled in the middle last week against the Giants when Lambert didn't play.
Here's Taves here, dropping back in the pass defense. He's an excellent linebacker. Anywhere but Pittsburgh, he'd be a starter.
The roar you're hearing is a penalty being marked against the Steelers. Let's hear the call.
All right, watch 57 Van Note.
58.
Middle of your screen. Well, he and Lambert were going to get in it.
And the call goes against Jack Lambert. Successive penalties have moved the ball out to the 34-yard line. for Jackson. Split to the right. Bubba Bean gets the toss. And Jack Lambert again over there defensively from his middle linebacking post. Bubba Bean picking up perhaps 3-4 yards. It'll be second down and 5.
You see Frank, 31, Donnie Shell blitz in there as the runner got past him. Donnie a bit too late. What a remarkable player Shell is. Another Pittsburgh free agent, South Carolina State. Hits like a linebacker, not like a safety. He's the strong safety. Oh, he's great.
Free agent 74, starter 77, All-Pro in 79, Donnie Shell. Second down 5, Bubba Bean. Donnie Shell, and a flag is down. And Shell up there quickly, getting his face right into the chest of Bubba Bean. And that might be the call against Donnie Shell.
Yeah.
The helmet.
Donnie's not happy about that call. But he's where the action is. The kind of guy who has a nose for the football.
All right, here he goes.
This was unintended by Donnie Shell, but that is a new rule. You cannot use that helmet in any way to aid you in tackling. There'll be no spearing, and that was not the intention.
Holding, number 58. First
Well,
down.
that's not it at all. They're calling it defensive holding against Jack Lambert.
There's Haskell standback, Giff, walking off the field. He was leading the blocking for Bubba Bean. He got shaken up. I'll tell you, if we can continue to get these penalties, Atlanta may score, gang.
6:10 left in the half.
Fires out to the tight end. The number 1 draft pick, Junior Miller. Donnie Shell was there. Flag is down once again. Against Atlanta, you saw it decline by Pittsburgh. They would rather give up a yard and a half on the completion to Junior Miller. Second down, call it 9. Bartkowski snowed under. John Goodman was in there.
I'll tell you what caused that sack. It was absolutely perfect coverage in the secondary by the defensive backs and the linebackers, and Bartkowski had to look for the second and then the third receiver.
Well, I'll tell you, Goodman's playing well tonight.
He
and
really
we
is.
keep forgetting about Tom Beasley. He's another fine defensive lineman for the Steelers. He was in on that sack. There's John Goodman. John Goodman, he, in all likelihood, is going to make this ball club. You really wonder what they're going to do with all the talent. Third down, 16. Fired, and it's complete to Alfred Jackson. Hit there immediately by Mike Wagner, and another flag goes down. Short of the first down is Al Jackson. And it's going to go against Atlanta. And Jackson remains on the turf.
And that's the price these receivers have to pay to go across the middle of that field. It isn't easy. Some don't like to do it. Alfred Jackson did it. He caught the ball, and it's tough.
It takes an incredible amount of concentration because you can hear things out there, and you know you're getting into heavy traffic, and you have to think nothing but football. That was Mike Wagner, and Mike Wagner will really stick you.
And it would really, you say this will really help this football team if Wagner comes back, but they did fine without him last year, but they do want him back, and he is a great defensive back.
Here's the call.
Number 80, offensive pass interference. Still third down.
Junior Miller, the rookie we've been speaking of, guilty of offensive pass interference. You know, we talked about Wagner coming back. Well, J.T. Thomas played free safety and played it well last year. They also have youngster Dwayne Woodruff in that secondary. They got Donnie Shell. They've got Ron Johnson, Mel Blunt. They have talent in the secondary, as they do in their linebacking core and also their defensive line. Perhaps that's why they're the Super Bowl champions. Reggie Smith is in there, the little super nat wide receiver. He wears number 16. Third down in a bundle, and the ball goes to Bubba Bean. And Bubba Bean goes down, taken there by Jack Lambert. It'll be fourth down. A little bit of booing. The crowd did not quite understand that call on third down and about 25.
For one thing, Giff, the Falcons are running out of wide receivers. Their two top guys are hurt. Now they've got Jackson hurt tonight, and they're down to a little super net who's really a kick returner.
Billy Rickman, of course, is hurt also. We spoke of that at the top. They really have 4 of them that can't play tonight. James to punt. Smith is deep for the Steelers. James. Oh, and he hangs another one high. But Smith will take it his own 22. And tried to spin backwards once again and was nailed to 25. 46-yard punt. And it was Michael Higgins getting down there defensively for Atlanta. We'll be back in a moment.
When I filled up my old...
4:29 remaining in the first half. The Steelers have the lead, 7-0. Bradshaw remains in the game. That was a draw play to Russell Davis, and Atlanta is playing this one like it was a playoff game.
They really are. Quickly, some baseball scores. Reggie Jackson's 33rd home run with a man on behind Tommy John. A singleton blast by Randolph, 3-1 over Baltimore at the end of 4.5. Milwaukee leading Cleveland 3-1 at the end of 7.5. Texas over Detroit 6-1 after 6.5.
There was a loss of a yard by Davis. It'll be second down and 11. The ball just short of the 25. Bradshaw, play action again. It's in a little bit of trouble back here. Fires it incomplete. Edgar Fields was chasing Bradshaw. Hawthorne, the intended receiver. No business there. It'll be third and 11.
If the Steeler defense has been impressive tonight, they haven't given up a touchdown now in 6 quarters.
That's 7. Chicago leading St. Louis 4.
Bradshaw puts Swan and Stallworth both to his right. Third and 11. Dumps it off to Hawthorne. And Hawthorne is nailed as he moves out to the 30-yard line. It'll be fourth down. The Steelers again being turned back by a very stubborn, tough-playing Atlanta defense.
And that was the point I was going to make. Pittsburgh's defense has been great this preseason, but the Falcon defense is equally to the task.
All right, we'll see Super Nat again. Craig Colquitt comes in. It's not like Super Nat. You're right. He runs north and south, Fran. He looks for that little gap, and he turns it on. Total disregard for a rather small body. Colquitt had to hurry that one. There's the Nat. No fair catch for the Nat. And down he goes, out around the 35-yard line. Hustling down there. Receivers tonight. Reggie Smith stays in there, number 16. Brian Sweeney, a rookie from Texas A&I, the other wide receiver. He wears, of course, number 16. Bartkowski doesn't carry it, put it up in the air, any of it, and fires a complete pass out for a first down. Mike Wagner in there defensively to make the stop, and it was Alfred Jackson coming across, making a tough catch.
All right, hit a little play pass action here. Really, Bartkowski, as you'll see, is throwing the ball too high. Jackson makes some kind of a fine catch. Now, is that courage? A while ago, going across the middle, Howard. He got laid out. Now he goes all the way up in there, leaves himself totally vulnerable, and comes down with the football. I like that.
Same man doing the popping, too. It was Wagner, and Jackson, you better believe, knew that he was going to get it again. First and 10. Over the middle. It's complete. This is Haskell standback. Stand back. Gets down to the 40-yard line of the Steelers. Allworth, Swan, Blyer. Blyer, of course, in the middle. Well, there are 3 football players.
Rocky says this is it, his last year. I don't really believe him. Not with what's in that man.
I do. He's 34, and he's starting to smart.
You played till 38.
Could never have made it. Second down and 4. Ball at the 40-yard line. 2:17 remaining. Atlanta uses the timeout. Stop the clock. Counting on the 2-minute warning as Bubba Bean gets the first down. Nifty bit of running by Bubba Bean down to the 32-yard line.
I'm telling you, this is some effort by Bubba Bean. This shows the talent the man has. He's going to bounce off the stack here with Steve Furness and Scott. Needs 5 yards for the first down. Breaks the tackle by Donnie Shell, which not many people do.
And that is the 2-minute warning as Bubba Bean gets the first down around the 22. It's 7-0. The Pittsburgh Steelers, and we'll be back. Atlanta has battled the Steelers even, and now they have a first and 10. They're at the 32-yard line of the Steelers. Junior Miller has moved out to flanker. That's Miller in motion. James White is the tight end, 83. And Bartkowski, I do not believe, he had his arm in motion, but
Well, that'll be
Robin Cole was in there, and he really pounded Bartkowski.
That'll be an interesting shot. I'm not really sure that he had the arm in motion. He was hit so hard by Robin Cole from the backside, he didn't see him. Here he comes. Somebody flew a blocking assignment. What's the hit?
He flooded back to the right, Fran. There's just nobody to pick up that many men coming from his right.
Yeah, it is. It's a tight end's job to stay in there and block him. You cannot leave your quarterback unprotected that way.
It happened to you.
Not often. Not often.
That loss all the way out to the Steelers' 42-yard line hurt the Falcons. The Steelers can think totally now in terms of pass. They know that Bartkowski has to put it up in the air. Francis, again, gifted receiver, not available tonight, as Al Jenkins is not available. Junior Miller, the rookie from Nebraska, has been put out on the flank. Greenwood puts those big arms up, and Bartkowski overthrows Bubba Bean. 130
To develop some self-belief.
That hit by Cole, by the way, against Bartkowski, ruled as a sack. On 3rd and 19, whistles blow.
White called a timeout before the snap. Pittsburgh's first timeout.
Pittsburgh uses a timeout. They made the call before the ball was snapped. You have got some kind of tough body.
He's right, Howard.
1:32 remaining in the half. The Steelers on top, 7-0, 3rd down, 19. Alfred Jackson, bottom of your screen, number 85. Perhaps the top receiver on the field. The only one available. Bartkowski hangs it up, and Jackson almost had it. In a foot race with Donnie Shell.
That was so close. Good throw by Bart. Jackson ran right through the double coverage. The protection held up, and this is a fine offensive line for the Falcons. We haven't talked much about it tonight, but the protection holds up. It has to for this kind of throw. Watch Jackson split the zone. There he goes. He stretches out. He gets it on his fingertips. But the play was made by Donnie Shell because he ripped his arms back and wasn't able to hold on to the football. Donnie Shell gets credit for the play.
Jackson, a 7th-round draft choice, Frank.
That's sack a while ago. It was costing Atlanta an attempted field goal. John James in to do the punting. Doesn't look for the corner, hangs it high. Smith moves away from it. And Atlanta's going to down it at the 5 with 1:15 remaining here in the first half.
Oh, what a
James
game.
Mayberry hustling down there.
What a game James is having.
Brilliant kick. He didn't angle for the sidelines. He put it right up, laid it inside the 10-yard line. It fell to the 5. Just can't ask for a kicker to do any more than he's done tonight.
Greg Hawthorne, 27. Russell Davis, 45. And Bradshaw's going to throw. Wide open is Jim Smith.
Oh, are you right? Do you know a man like Bradshaw and what a good quarterback, a great quarterback will do?
How about the protection he had?
Well, I think the good quarterbacks have the confidence they can throw from anywhere on the field, and they got 95 yards of field to work with. It's harder to defend the pass. Watch Jim Smith here. He's going to show you the athlete he is. The ball is high. Watch him go up and stretch and get it in his fingertips. That is an athlete. That's what an end has to do. He can do just like Stallworth and Swan. Carbon copy.
And I'll tell you, that offensive line for the Steelers gave Bradshaw time to look at about 4 different receivers. Let's watch him in the end zone, and you'll see some blocking. The guy in the middle, Mike Webster, is the bad one.
Well, he faked the run. He got the run fake, and they were expecting to run. He flags to the left. When you can do this, you've got protection. You're right, Jim.
I want to tell you there was a cross block level there by 77, Steve Curson, whom Joe Green now calls the best offensive lineman in football. Joe knows something about it. He works against him in practice.
Let's take a look at it again, and keep in mind, Corson is now teamed with Larry Brown on that right side, number 79. Watch 77. That's what Howard does.
Coming to the left. Let's watch it. I'm going to see what Howard saw it now. Howard, you did. He put him right to the ground. My goodness, he's going to take him all the way down.
That's Brown on the right side of your screen doing a tremendous job also. All right, 58 seconds remaining. The Steelers have 1 timeout. The ball at their own 41-yard line.
There was a day, Frank, when this was an offensive line. It was a small offensive line, 230-pound, 235-pound players. But now it's a big and quick offensive line. What I tell us, 260, 270.
Larry Brown is bulked up to about 275 now. On 1st and 10. Bradshaw again with the time. Hawthorne is out there. Incomplete. Greg Hawthorne, #1 draft pick a year ago. We told you that, following an injury-plagued career at Baylor. And then he came in the very first day of training camp a year ago, pulled a hamstring. Later he hurt an ankle, and he hurt a shoulder. And you begin to wonder that pretty soon Greg Hawthorne is going to have to remain healthy. They have big plans for him. Tremendous athlete, 6'2", 225-pounder. And as Franco Harris moves into his 9th season, Rocky Plyer into his 12th, you know that Chuck Noll and Steeler management is starting to look again towards the youth for running backs. 2nd and 10. Look at that time. Over the middle to Smith. Complete.
All right, they've got their hurry-up, 2-minute offense.
Harry wants to kill the clock, save that one timeout that he has. Now it's incumbent upon the defense to get back on sides this year. Bradshaw kills the clock with 20 seconds.
That's all he could do. All he could do.
Again, let's look at that reception by Smith, and also just keep in mind the time that Bradshaw had to get it there.
He's running everybody out of the backfield. He's running receivers on 20, 25-yard patterns down the field. It takes 4 seconds to run this pattern. He's got that much time to throw it. He puts it in there. Smith makes the reception.
2 receptions now for Smith, 58 yards. Bradshaw going the entire first half.
Now, this is fun football for a quarterback. I mean, he's having fun doing it. He knows he's not coming back the second half. He's putting it up. He'd like to get a touchdown in there.
He's 9 of 15, 159 yards, 1 touchdown. 2nd and 10. Over the middle is complete. This is Russell Davis. And Davis barreling down to about the 32-yard line. 11 seconds on the clock. And Pittsburgh uses its final timeout.
Don't forget our halftime highlights. You'll see the best schedule in the history of Monday Night Football. The great teams, the great players coming up in just a matter of seconds.
Their punter, Colquitt, 78 in the 3rd round pick, and they don't have the worries that a lot of teams have. Who is going to punt? Who's going to be the field goal kicker? They know who's going to be kicking. They don't have another kicker in camp. 49-yard attempt, Matt Barr. And it won't hook. No good. With 5 seconds remaining in the half. Steelers on top, 7-0. Matt Barr misses from 49 yards out.
Will we see, Howard, the infamous Atlanta play called Big Ben, which they pulled off against New Orleans 2 years ago, when they threw a desperation pass down the field, and one Alfred Jackson caught it in the last seconds of that game to give the Falcons a victory.
I like Alfred Jackson. He's shown a lot in this game. The kid who's shown me so much for Pittsburgh is John Goodman, the kid from Colorado, number 95.
They're not lined up in a Big Ben formation.
This is Haskell Stanback, and he will expire the remaining seconds here in the first half. There is the gun. That's the end of the first half. The Steelers on top, 7-0. It was Bradshaw and a flyer. We'll be ready for our halftime features after this.
New York Jets, the youngest team in the NFL, and with that Olympic speedster, their #1 draft choice, Johnny Lamb Jones. Look for the Jets to be a contender.
Metropolitan really stands by you.
I support the Dancinis, but without me, the family won't collapse because Metropolitan will really stand by me.
Hey! After a flip and a flop, and finally a funny, fluky fall, Metropolitan really stands by me.
Making them stand still isn't easy, but with Metropolitan standing by me, paying our dental bill is.
For life, health, home, auto, and retirement insurance, Metropolitan really stands by you.
On Monday, November 3rd, the Bears against the Cleveland Browns. The Browns led by the remarkable Brian Sipe, threw for 28 touchdowns a year ago with second in passing yardage only to Dan Fouts, and he's got receivers like Logan. He's also got a new runner, the Heisman Trophy winner of a year ago, Charlie White of USC, the all-time second rusher in NCAA history. The Browns will be tough. Then, love ya blue. It's New England against Houston. Houston, which provides such excitement on Monday nights. Those were the ice blue pom-poms. Remember that game against the Miami Dolphins a couple of years back? Earl Campbell ran for 199 yards in all. That run, 81 yards, a touchdown. Houston had beaten Miami in a brilliant Greasy 35-30. Then it's Oakland against Seattle, November 17th. 4 times in a row the Seahawks have beaten the Raiders. That takes some doing. And Jimmy's on. The southpaw quarterback is the key man. And he, Steve Largent, is the key receiver. Then a Thursday night battle, San Diego against Miami. Miami led by the coach of the decade. He has been so elected, Don Shula. And to rely on the running game this year, he hopes it will be a healthy number 24. Delvin Williams. Then it's the Rams against the New Orleans Saints, November 24th. They had their best effort ever, the Saints, last year. 8-8 on the year because of the power running of that man, number 42, Chuck Muncie. And he can catch, too. But there's also Tony Galbraith to abet him. And there's Archie Manning, one of the most accurate passers in the National Football League. Then, another old tough rivalry, December 1st. Denver against the Oakland Raiders, with Dan Pastorini taking over the Raiders. The Raiders, by the way, have the best record ever on Monday Night Football. They're 13-1-1. And, of course, they're counting, the Raiders are, on Pastorini to throw the long ball to the likes of that man, Cliff Branch. After that, it's Pittsburgh at Houston, December 4th. Could there be a better battle? Do you remember the past battles, the AFC Championship game? And did Renfro have it or didn't he? They'll argue about it forever. Houston won in the regular season last year, 20-17. And then December 8th, it's New England against Miami. When these two meet, the Eastern crown in the AFC is usually at stake. Last year, Greasy roared to Nat Moore and led his team to 4 touchdowns to win it in the late going. Then Dallas against the Rams. Remember their playoff game, the one that spun the Rams to the Super Bowl. Vince Ferragamo was the guy with that pass to Billy Waddy. Touchdown and a thrilling 21-19 Ram victory. The wrap-up game, Pittsburgh against the Chargers. The Chargers, who gave the Steelers their worst day almost within memory, certainly since '69, because Bradshaw was intercepted 5 times. That one, the result of a Fred Dean pass rush, deflected by 27 Glenn Edwards, picked off by Woody Lowe, and Lowe went all the way for the TD. 35-7, San Diego. That's the season. What a year, coming up on Monday nights on ABC.
Metropolitan really stands by you.
Oh, everything's stolen.
Don't worry, Metropolitan will stand by us.
Oh, at least they left my lamp.
They'll come back. Oh, no.
Me, a college graduate.
When Art retired, Metropolitan really stood by him.
Hi, Artie.
Artie? Our first band job ended up on a sour note, but Metropolitan really stands by us.
For life, health, home, auto, and retirement insurance, Metropolitan really stands by you.
We're back live in Atlanta at halftime. The score, the Pittsburgh Steelers 7, the Atlanta Falcons nothing. This ABC Sports exclusive is also being brought to you by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by Datsun, who would like to remind you that it's a long way to empty in a Datsun. A long way, but a short way to the coach.
Thank you very much, Kiffer. You know the ABC Sports Department policy. Be where the action is, where the stories are. And so we want to take you to a breaking story that occurred today in South Bend, Indiana. And my colleague who has a positive nose for news, David Dials. David, take it away.
Howard, thank you very much. We're in South Bend, Indiana, And just 2 hours ago, I sat in the back of the library on this wonderful campus, and I listened to a man quit his job. And I watched 125 of the finest young men in this country leave that room teary-eyed. And the man who announced that this season will be his last as the coach of Notre Dame football is with me now. His name is Dan Devine. Coach, your players were shocked, your staff was shocked when you told them 15 minutes before. Why did you do it?
Dave, very simply, family considerations, personal reasons, and consideration for my squad.
The job at Notre Dame, Coach, has been described as at once the very best in college football and at the same time the very worst. I've known you a long time. I don't think you'd lie to me. I want to know if there's any pressure from anybody, anywhere, on Dan Devine to quit.
Absolutely none. Father Joyce is out of the country. He'll be back, I think, a day before the Purdue game. I understand Father Hesburgh's out of town. They're my two bosses. This was something that I had to do for my team, whom I love very much, and my coaching staff, and it was a decision of my head rather than my heart. It was something I had to do.
You succeeded Ara Prseason here at Notre Dame. There are people in this town and in other towns across the country who will tell me that there is bad blood between Dan Devine and Ara Prseason. Comment on that, please.
I respect very much the job that Coach Prseason did here at Notre Dame. His record speaks for itself.
It also is said by some that the only way to keep the alumni happy at Notre Dame is to be 11-0, beat the spread every week, be #1 in the nation, and win a major bowl game. What about pressure from Notre Dame people around the country? I mean, you've won a national championship, and you've had 5 outstanding years here, but there's still pressure.
Dave, there's always pressure. Pressure is self-induced. I can remember the first high school game that I coached. I vomited the entire morning. Pressure, to me, is something that I thrive on. And there are some things about Notre Dame that are unique, and that the demands on your time are tremendous. But there are many fine and wonderful things that occur here. Among them are the fact that you alluded to opening the program, and that was that nowhere in the United States could a coach have as fine a group of young men as what I have. I truly love this football team, and it's a good football team, and I respect them greatly, and I know they're going to have a good year.
What about the effect on the team of you being a lame duck coach for the rest of 1980?
They know me very well to know that I'm not going to be a lame duck coach, that I'm going to be in full command. I can recruit for Notre Dame because I'm sold on Notre Dame. My heart is still here. I'm leaving the team, but my heart is with the players and with the team.
Will you ever coach again?
Dave, as we talked coming down here, I've coached on the winning sideline in the Rose Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Bluebonnet Bowl, Gator Bowl, and never in the Super Bowl.
Sounds like the door is open. I got to ask you one final question. What about doing it now? Why did you do it right now instead of at the end of the season?
Dave, you're the reason, partly because I just had too many people kind of knowing about the situation. I tried to be very careful to who I spoke. Basically, this was a decision of my wife and I, but I did have to confide in a few. This morning I had a phone call from an Eastern paper. I had to pretty much duck the question, and when you called me, I couldn't lie to a friend, nor could I really lie to anybody in the media. And you just happened to catch it, and I'll do another interview in 2 minutes, but I'm going back to work in the morning and coach this football team.
You go back to work. I'm going to get back to the farm in Meigs County, and we're going to send this football telecast back to Howard Cosell in Atlanta.
Okay, thank you very much, David. One final note. I don't know if Dan Devine will coach again. I know on the day that Chuck Fairbanks walked out on the New England Patriots in Miami, Florida, before a decisive game against New England, Dan Devine was there with me. And he said, the one thing I still want in my life is to go back to the pros and win a Super Bowl. Maybe that will happen. We'll have to find out. Under any circumstances, we're in Atlanta, Fulton County Stadium, and I'm turning it over to the Giffer.
Thank you, Howard. And the teams have come back out onto the field. The Steelers leading at halftime 7-0 over Atlanta. And we'll be back with the second half kickoff. Right now, this word from our local station. Stay with us.
This fall, the best new shows are on ABC, like Too Close for Comfort with Ted Knight.
Next time your sister has a date come by the house, you are nothing less than a top coat. Look, girls, it's John Ritter. We're right after you on Tuesday nights, and we're good.
You better be.
6 dead in flash floods. Details after the game.
There are some hard facts about the U.S. and Russia. The Soviets are outproducing us in missiles, outproducing us in warships, in tanks, combat planes, helicopters, attack subs. They're growing stronger than we are because the Democrats who control Congress voted down defense program after defense program, defeating all Republican opposition. But it's not too late to make America strong again. Vote Republican for a change.
We'll be underway with the second half in a moment. There is one final in the professional season exhibition play tonight. The Eagles over the Jets 28-13. Tim Massetti will kick off. Deep for the Steelers. Taking the ball at the 1-yard line. And this is Nate Johnson, a speedster that the Steelers would like to see remain on their football team. Rookie out of Hillsdale, Michigan. And we're going to see Cliff Stout. Now, we have kidded a lot about Cliff. He kids a lot about this himself. But here is a player that has been with the Steelers, wears 2 Super Bowl rings, has earned over $70,000 in playoff money, has never taken a regular season snap. 6'4", 220-pounder out of Youngstown State. Last week, 15 of 26 against the Giants. Also had a 41-yard run there on a keeper. First and 10 from the 31-yard line. Getting the call is Russell Davis over the right side. And we'll see, I'm sure, a great deal of changes throughout the second half. We'll try and keep you abreast of what is happening. This is one player we'll have seen a great deal of already, Russell Davis, the number 4-round draft pick of a year ago, who missed all of last season with a broken arm. But he is getting a good test tonight as the Steelers look for youth at the running back spot. Chuck Noll, looking for a record, 9 consecutive years in the playoffs. 2nd and 10. Stout, blitz, down he goes, and he had no chance whatsoever as he was taken there and hit hard. Blitz was on, Atlanta coming in, and I believe it was number 58, Joel Williams. We talked about him earlier. He was a free agent pickup a year ago.
And watch 27 on the left. Greg Hawthorne, he missed the blitz man. Joel Williams ran right by him. And that makes it tough on the quarterback.
And that's why Blyer is so valuable in that lineup. But Greg Hawthorne also did not play much last year. He was a 1 draft pick last year and was hurt throughout the entire season. A loss of 10. It's 3rd and 20. Stout back. This time has the time. Randy Grossman, first down Steelers. Mr. Clutch. Somehow every year he makes this ball club, and that's one of the reasons why. He can get open and he can catch it.
He is really unbelievable. Another evidence of the Steelers' depth and strength. Fran?
All Randy Grossman does is get open and catch balls for him. He makes these kind of plays every time he plays. He has a knack of finding an open spot. Doesn't have great speed. Catches everything thrown in his direction. Makes a good run after he gets the ball.
And a very cool effort on the part of Cliff Stout. He had been nailed on a sack just a moment ago. It was a little crowded when he found Grossman. 45-yard pickup, first down Steelers. Ball at the 34-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. The Steelers again on top 7-0. Stallworth, 82. Jim Smith, 86. Wide receivers, you see them both flanked to the right. Stout. And the big man picks up yardage. Close to a first down.
I'll tell you, Giff, that was impressive. Cliff Stout, he can run and move. So many of the big men just cannot move like he can.
Big and strong.
Stout gets the first down. I mentioned that he had a 41-yard run last week against the Giants on a keeper.
He got pressured by that free agent Joel Williams again, but he just made a wonderful move. He took a sure 5-6-yard loss, turned it into a positive gain for him on a first down.
5th-round draft pick back in '77. Youngstown State, where he broke all of the Philadelphia Eagles' Ron Jaworski's records. On first down, Hawthorne gets the call, and Greg pounds it over the right side. Picking up 3 or 4, it'll be 2nd down and 6. Greg Hawthorne, the big man from Baylor that Steelers are looking to for the future.
Frank, the interesting thing about Stout, Krusek had been the backup quarterback for a few years, and obviously they thought Stout was better because they let Krusek go to Washington for just a medium draft choice.
Ball down close to the 15-yard line. Second down, 6.
May I quickly add that Mark Malone also figures in their thinking. You'll see him in the fourth quarter.
Their number 1 draft pick from Arizona State. Theo Bell is in a wide receiver now, number 83, along with Jim Smith. But this is Russell Davis getting the call, pounding up the middle. Offensive line changes. Ted Peterson is in there now, offensively for the Steelers, number 66. Tyrone McGriff is in there, number 61. That effort short of the first down. It'll be third down. Call it a long 2. Here come the tight ends.
But if you caught that last-minute glimpse of Chuck Noll walking off the field at halftime, he was a little miffed with his own team. Ever the perfectionist. He has apparently talked strongly to the team, and they've come out fired up.
Third down, long 2, the ball at the 13. The motion man is Graves. And Russell Davis gets the call. It'll be close. Russell Davis, 6'1", 224-pounder, first down Steelers. So Cliff Stout, if you recall, a few moments ago, back at his own 20-yard line with a 3rd and 20, came up with the big play to Randy Grossman to get the first down at midfield.
Randy Grossman says, I feel inferior when I look at Benny Cunningham. I just do the best I can.
Split to the right is T.O. Bell, number 83. Smith, number 86. And the attempt is to Hawthorne. Incomplete. A flag is down. Could have been a motion.
I think it was a hold.
No, there was also a motion. We'll get the hold.
All right.
Not a place to get a holding call when you're driving in for a score like that.
Well, they're within Barr's range.
Number 72, White holding. Still first down.
Well, that was a misnomer. He said 72 White. I guess he meant the white jersey. I thought he meant Dwight White, but that was actually Gary Mullins. Calvin Sweeney now, flank to the right. He wears number 85. First-year man out of USC. Theo Bell is split to the left with Cliff Stout. First down and a bunch. Getting the call is Russell Davis. Stout trying to trick up the Atlanta defense, sending Davis up the middle, and Atlanta is thinking pass.
Frank just mentioned Calvin Sweeney out of USC to you, 5th-round draft choice. Quality football player, yet very scant chance, really, of making this club, which shows you the strength and depth of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This Calvin, he missed all of last year as a 4th-round draft pick. He had a broken foot last year. Second down, 16. Ball at the 16. Greg Hawthorne. Nifty move by Hawthorne. And he turned right back into the pursuit. Gets back close to the original line of scrimmage, where it'll be 3rd and long. There you go. Hawthorne, we talked about in the first half. Drafted number 1 a year ago after a mediocre senior year at Baylor with a bad hip injury. Pulled a hamstring, first play of the season last year. Never really got to show the potential the Steelers think that he has. Jim Smith comes back in, number 86. He's at the top of your screen. Flank to the left is Theo Bell, 83. On the 3rd down. Ready, Grossman at the goal line.
Showed me something there, Frank.
I'll tell you, he showed me something too, Howard. He was so cool. He got pressure. He moved out of the pocket at the right time. He didn't panic and start running down the field. Watch it here. Here he comes. He's going to get pressure from the right side. He's looking downfield. Now, instead of trying to run, which he should not do, he's looking for a receiver. There's Grossman, who seems to get open all the time.
And Grossman holds on. He knew he was going to get pounded. And it is 4th down. And, well, about a foot to go for the score. Cliff Stout, 3 for 3. And the big one goes way back at the beginning of this drive. A 45-yard pickup on 3rd and 20 to Randy Grossman. And Grossman has just brought the Steelers to within the 1. Roll out. Looks like it'll be 6 easy.
He just earned the $70,000 plus in playoff monies.
I'll tell you. Well, Howard, he's an important thing to the Steelers because they feel that the most indispensable guy they got is Bradshaw. But watch him here. He takes the run into the line. It's a called play. It's not a scramble. It's a bootleg play. He's got enough speed to pull it off. And the other thing he did, he used over 5 minutes in that drive. And when you use that much time, you keep the ball away from the other team.
He's a good-looking athlete.
Matt Barr for the conversion to make it 14-0. Well, the Steelers with a fine mid-season looking drive led by this youngster, Cliff Stott, have taken a 14-0 lead over the Atlanta Falcons. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's no trick to make a more powerful car, but Datsun made one that gives you more power for less gas.
The sporty Datsun 200SX. Its fuel-injected NAPSI engine delivers more power from less gas than last year.
Don't forget the 5-speed.
Overdrive.
And the power disc brakes.
On all 4 wheels.
And best of all, the 200SX is a Datsun.
Wow, it's a long way to empty. In a Datsun.
A long way.
You know, it's amazing how similar we are. We have the same last name. And we both played baseball for the same team. We even drank the same beer, light beer from Miller. And we drink it for the same reason. Light has 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. And it's less filling. But we drink it because it tastes so great. Now, I know we're incredibly alike, but don't be confused. We are not identical twins. I'm at least 2 inches taller than he is.
Make beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Here's Cliff Stott. For 3 years, he took no snaps from center, did not play 1 play, but he earned $70,000 in postseason earnings. But the Steelers think that's an investment for the future because they think this man can play and play well in case Bradshaw goes down.
I like his cool.
Oh, I like him a lot.
He not only looks like Namath, he goes up for the snap like Joe.
Matt Barr hits it. Reggie Super Nat Smith at his 5-yard line. The Super Nat was swatted as he moved out over the 35.
Very good verb.
It was Mark Mattingly hustling down there defensively for the Steelers. So Atlanta now down 14-0. They come in with Mike Morosky at quarterback, number 15. Mike Morosky replaces Steve Bartkowski. Bartkowski going to retire first half. Setback is James Mayberry. Single setback. He gets the tops from Morosky. Turns the corner. Good pickup for about 8. Bartkowski left after 1 half. He was 8 for 14, 67 yards.
Okay, the Yankees, Tommy John, 4-1 over the Birds in the 6th. Milwaukee, 4-1 over the Indians final. Rangers beat Detroit 6-2 final. Boston killing Chicago 7-0 6th. California 4-0 over the Twins the 8th. Kansas City 3-1 over Toronto the 7th. Frank.
2nd down and 2 for Atlanta. Morosky leaves the football at the line of scrimmage, and I think one of the Falcons scrambled back on it. It could have been Mayberry. Setback, so James Mayberry 39, Ray Strong 25 now for Atlanta. More baseball.
Pittsburgh first in the East in the National League, 7-3 over Montreal final. We'll have Pittsburgh against Montreal Sunday afternoon baseball, 3 p.m. this Sunday. Phils shut out the Mets 8-0. Chicago over St. Louis 4-2 in the 6th. Keeping you abreast of the pennant races and of the other preseason football games.
Mayberry recovered that fumble for a gain of 1. His 3rd down and 1. Ball at the 33-yard line of the Falcons. Morosky hands off this time to Ray Strong, and Strong is drilled on the right side. Defensively, it was Ted Walton, a rookie out of Connecticut, up there from the cornerback position. It'll be 4th down Atlanta. We're going to pause 5 seconds and allow all of our good friends and our affiliates around the country identify themselves.
In the city of champions, this is Channel 4 WTAE-TV Pittsburgh.
John James out to do the punting again for Atlanta. He's had a big night. Jim Smith is hustling into position for the Steelers. He'll stake out his area at about the 25-yard line. James can hang it high, and he does. Smith must call for the fair catch, which he does at the 20, and the Steelers will have their second possession of the second half at the 20-yard line. 45-yard punt by John James. We'll be back in a moment.
Super automotive values from Sears. Sears Heavy Duty 48 Shock, now radial tuned, designed for less thump per bump under 40 miles per hour. Now on sale for $8.99 each. You save 30%. Now America can save money on the best-selling steel-belted radial tire in Sears history. Get them now and save yourself 25%. It's our biggest savings ever on this tire. At Sears, where America shops for value.
If you've been thinking about buying or selling a house, but you've heard there's a bad real estate market, call your ERA real estate specialist.
We know who's lending money and how to qualify for it.
4 out of 10 home buyers come from out of town. With this machine, we can find them.
Our buyer protection plan made this home more valuable.
Call ERA. We're selling houses. Now more than ever, your ERA real estate specialist is the person you need to know in real estate.
Monday, plants that put the bite on bugs, and a student topples 7,000 dominoes. That's incredible.
Cliff Stout, who took the Steelers in their first possession here in the second half. 69 yards for a score. Moves up, first and 10, the ball just over the 20-yard line. Then Swan, 88, John Stallworth, 82, both back in their wide receiver for the Steelers, and this is Greg Hawthorne. Hawthorne will learn about that hesitation. A pursuit will catch you rather quickly in professional football.
You know, Howard, as you watch Hawthorne, you see this man has some ability. He's got some quick feet, he's got some speed, but he just really isn't there yet, is he?
He will be.
Well, I know they want him to be.
Gain of a half a yard or so. It'll be second down and 9.
He will be. Excuse me, Frank. He will be because Chuck Knowles says so.
Offensive line, Mike Webster stays in at center. Larry Brown is in there. Tyrone McGriff and Ted Peterson. That is the offensive line of the Steelers at the moment. Second and 9. Both blacks splitting right. Stout will run it. He's got the first down. Skinner's out of bounds, somewhere out around the 41-yard line.
I'll tell you, he showed me, Jeff, he is now a real NFL quarterback because when he ran, he got out of bounds. And this is a good move he makes. Back in the pocket again. Watch his instincts. He doesn't panic. Moves nicely. He's going to flag the ball, then he's going to go.
He looks like Terry Bradshaw a few years ago when Terry used to pull that ball down and do that.
That's the smartest thing I've seen him do all night. The quarterback's supposed to stay healthy, and he'll stay healthy getting out of bounds.
I like his cool.
Atlanta's 3-4 being sorely tested. A new 3-4, by the way, defensively. First and 10, 38-yard line of the Steelers. A lot of time. Wide open Stallworth.
You saw him look left, look right, throw left. Beautiful.
I'll tell you what, though, not many quarterbacks have that luxury.
The time.
To be able to do this is really unreal. Here's Stallworth again. He really is not in the pattern. He doesn't expect the ball to come to him. He's been eloping a little bit, but then he gets going.
4 for 4. This one to Stallworth, short of the first down. Short by about a yard and a half. 6:45 remaining here in the third quarter. The Steelers on top 14-0. Swan, top of your screen. Setbacks, Hawthorne 27, Russell Davis 45. Davis gets the call, big opening up the middle, and Davis gets the first down. Davis out of the 45-yard line of Atlanta. Frank, Davis slow getting up.
Frank, I think I mentioned that we would have Montreal against Pittsburgh Sunday afternoon baseball at 3. My error. I thought that was the pattern in Pittsburgh. It'll be at 2 o'clock Sunday.
You never err now, Howard. Don't.
Only on the side
make them move the game.
Only on the side of erudition.
The injured Steeler down is Russell Davis. Of erudition. Youngster out of Michigan who has performed well last week against the Giants and has had flashing moments here tonight against Atlanta. Looks all right as he leaves the field without assistance. Cliff Stout, who came in here in the second half, is thus far the game's top rusher. 32 yards.
You know the terrible thing, if a guy on Pittsburgh gets injured, he can't afford it. He doesn't make the team.
Right. 44, rookie Frank Pollard is in now for the Steelers. And Bill Ring, another rookie from Brigham Young. This is Bill Ring. Guys the right side. It's 2, maybe 3. It'll be second down coming up.
Howard, the anguish that goes through these young men here. I mean, here's their chance to make it big in the National Football League. And you're right. An injury to him at this time of the preseason schedule may put him out of a job.
Frank Pollard, by the way, who missed all of last season for the Steelers. He was an 11th round draft pick. 5'10", 210-pounder out of Baylor. Frank Pollard. Bill Ring, 5'10", 200-pound rookie out of Brigham Young. He wears 41. Stop. Looking for his 5th consecutive completion, and this one is broken up.
By Big Al Richardson, the rookie from Georgia Tech, who got a good drop back there. There he is, 98 as you look at him, and he deflected the ball. Looked like a sure completion.
He wears that 98 number, but nevertheless, he's in the linebacker spot. That outside linebacker.
Watch him drop. He is quick. He's back and makes a wonderful play. Stallworth is in position to catch the ball.
And he almost had it out to the tip. 3rd down and 8. Ball at the 41-yard line. Stout once Swan incomplete.
Well, I'll tell you, Richardson was in on the pass rush there. And we mentioned that we'd develop this story later. The Falcons drafted for linebackers primarily. The reason they want them to make the long drop, 15, 18 yards, to give adequate help to the undersized defensive secondary. Richardson was one of those drafted. Laughlin of Ohio State drafted number 5. And, of course, Buddy Curry from North Carolina drafted number 2, number 50.
Colquitt, the punter for the Steelers, looking for the out-of-bounds kick, and he has got another one. At the 10-yard line, perhaps the 11, Colquitt puts it out of bounds. So Atlanta will begin deep in their own territory and trailing 14-0.
Chapter 9. I kicked in the door and shouted freeze to the lone figure in the room. Even in the darkness, I could see she was the most beautiful woman I ever met. Then I saw the light beer from Miller. It's got 1/3 less calories than a regular beer, and it's less filling, she whispered. But the best thing is, it tastes so great. Suddenly, all the pieces fell into place, and I knew I'd come to the end of a long, long road. She poured, we drank. To be continued.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Just when you thought all four-wheel drives were alike, along comes Datsun.
4x4 by Datsun.
Biggest choice of compact four-wheel drive truck bodies. New Datsun King Cab, the roomiest with optional jump seats. Datsun Long Bed, giant of the class. And all with high Datsun mileage to get you there and back.
4x4 by Datsun.
Tomorrow, America's top swimmers go after the mark set at the Moscow Olympics and the powerful U.S. weightlifting championships on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Atlanta will begin deep in their own territory at their 11-yard line. Interesting comment from our producer, Terry O'Neill, who reminded us that the Steelers had 47 veterans returning this year to fight for 45 positions. So if they're playing some rather heady football this early in the season, you know that a lot of them are worried about jobs. Borowski fires, and it's incomplete. It was dropped there by Ray Strong. And speaking of the cuts, the first cut will be this coming Tuesday, when every team must get down to 60. The second cut will come Tuesday, August the 26th. The teams must be down to 50. And then on Labor Day, September the 1st, all teams must be at their 45-man rosters. And there's about 65 or 70 players on each of these teams we are watching tonight. So numerically, you know that there will be a lot of football players moving on to other professions. 2nd and 10, the ball at the 11-yard line. Mike Borowski, at quarterback now for the Atlanta Falcons. incomplete.
Yep, I think
Flag is down.
another interesting thing about the Steelers is that one player out of the group they have out there on the field tonight that was acquired by trade. Everyone was drafted by the organization. That's the only team they played for.
Quick update, Giff. The Yankees lead the Birds of Baltimore after 7 by a score of 4-2. Doug Bird has replaced Tommy John, and Stewart has replaced Mike Flanagan. Tough pennant race now in that American League. Earl Weaver weaving his magic spell.
Offsides determined against the Steelers. The last attempt to Junior Miller, incomplete, or rather to Lewis Gilbert. The penalty makes it 2nd down and 5, the ball at the 16. Borowski has a man over the middle, and it's Alfred Jackson who holds on. And Zach Valentine, a second-year man, a terrific football player on special teams, makes the stop for the Steelers.
Alfred Jackson said this week, he said, I know Wallace Francis and Jenkins had good years, but I can play as good as either one of them.
I think he's right.
He's had a good night tonight.
He had quite a rookie season when it was Al Jenkins that was hurt most of that year, and he had a pretty good year. He caught 26 in '78. Didn't play much when Jenkins came back last year, and of course Wallace Francis had the great year. On 1st and 10, Ray Strong gets the call. Up there to collect Strong was Lauren Taves.
And did he collect it? Did you see him bust through there, friend?
I did. I really like him as a football player, and now he looks like he can play in the middle as well as the outside.
I know what you're going to do. You got Dennis Winston, who's not here, by the way. You got Zach Valentine. Has terrific potential. Robin Cole, you can't get him out of there.
This is why the kid Core is the number 2 draft choice.
I was getting around to him. They also have Jack Ham, Jack Lambert. They can't keep them all. 2nd down and 11, a loss of 1. And just nudging the center on his own was Morosky. I don't believe that was a called play. Might have been something he had worked out with his center. Here's a big gap there.
There's a big gap. Usually they just kind of pinch the center on the backside and say, I'm going. And he did that. He picked up some yards.
Sure did. He picked up 8 yards.
There's one guy, Lynn Swan, that's not worried about his job, Howard. I think he'll make the team.
And oft when on his bench he sits in vacant or in pensive mood, there flash upon the inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude, the daffodil.
3rd down, yard and a half. Whistles go. And this one is going to be marked off against Atlanta. Could have been an illegal formation. Too much time.
Delay of game, 5-yard penalty.
So instead of 3rd and a yard and a half, it'll be 3rd now and about 8.
It's interesting to me, Giff, that 2 spry fellows are still out in the field. One of them is Joe Green, the other is L.C. Greenwood. Getting a little more experience.
3rd now and long, 2:58 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Steelers on top, 14-0. Borowski had a lot of time. He just did not find an open receiver. The reason there were none of them open. Holds on to the ball, takes the loss, and his 4th down. Here comes the punting team for Atlanta.
Lehman Bennett proved himself when he first came here as head coach. One of the great things was the acquisition of Jerry Glanville as defensive coordinator. Smart, tough cookie.
John James will punt. Jim Smith is deep for Pittsburgh at his 35-yard line. James with another towering punt. And good special teams coverage as Smith gets out close to the 32-yard line off a 46-yard punt by John James. And an Atlanta Falcon player is down. John James having a big night for Atlanta. The Steelers also having a big night. They lead 14-0 and will be returning to Atlanta in a moment.
I make one trick shot in a light beer commercial, and everybody thinks they know how to shoot pool. So these guys decided to take me on to shoot a little pool and drink a little light beer from Miller. Because it's less filling.
Tastes great.
Less filling.
Let's quit talking and start chalking.
You break, Bubba.
Sure, I haven't broken anything all day.
Hey, Mickey, what happened? It's a mystery to me.
You show him, Rodney.
Yeah, show him.
You guys got me all wrong. I think light tastes great, too. But when you're shooting pool, the only thing you want to get filled up is the pocket. 14 6-ball combination.
Steve, how do you do that?
Practice, practice, practice.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Michael Higgins, free agent rookie from Kansas, and a youngster has shown some real talent in training camp, is being assisted from the field.
And there's Junior Miller, Giff. He really hasn't played much tonight for a #1 draft choice. And they really feel that he's going to help open up their offense. But they haven't used him much, and that's probably been because he hasn't been in training camp very long.
He held out for about a week, didn't he? Got a late start. 32-yard line, the Steelers. Stout tosses out to Russell Davis. A lot of running room now. Bobbles the football. And going out of bounds, then Steeler possession. And the fumble forward gives the Steelers a first down.
Well, there's Junior Miller. Not only did he hold out for a while, but as you know, a personal misfortune. His wife had a miscarriage, and of course he went back home to join her. So he's not physically prepared yet. But mark him down, Junior Miller, first-round draft choice, Nebraska.
A tough night to play football if you're not physically prepared. It's hot, muggy. Let's stop. Over the first down at the 44-yard line. Hand off to Russell Davis. Tries the middle, gets a yard and a half. It'll be second down and 8.
Glad to see Russell Davis back in there.
Yes.
He had gone out, injured a few moments ago, but obviously it was a very minor thing. L.C. Greenway.
His trademark, the yellow shoes. He's the best of the pass rushers when he's healthy. Tony Anderson comes in as one setback, number 33. Second-year man out of Temple, and Frank Pollard, 44, is the other setback now for the Steelers. Pollard, the rookie from Baylor. Right side, and Buddy Curry slips over there to make the stop after a pickup of 5. Buddy Curry, of course, they expect great things from Buddy Curry, Fran, here in Atlanta.
They really do. Let's watch Buddy Curry on top of your screen, number 50. He'll play off the blocker, and that's a big, tough blocker in Mullins, and goes and makes the play. They feel here in Atlanta that this stage of his career, which is very early, he's better than any linebacker they've ever had here, including Novus.
Tommy Novus.
That is saying something if he's that good.
Third down, 4, pickup of 6 by Pollard. Gets the same play. Big opening and running with a lot of authority is Frank Pollard, getting the first down.
I tell you, he looks like Robert Newhouse of
He's
the
built
Dallas
the same
Cowboys.
way.
That's right. Same moves, same number. I'll tell you.
Well, that's about as good as I've seen a Pittsburgh back for tonight. He looks good.
As we mentioned, he was an 11th round draft pick a year ago, broke his ankle.
I give him no chance
Out
to
for
make
the
the
season.
team.
Now you have to consider Rocky Blyer will be there, Frank O'Hara, Sidney Thornton, who's not here tonight, Greg Hawthorne. It'll be tough. First and 10. Play action by Cliff Stout. 1-6. Smith is the receiver. And there was he got tripped, collision, a little bit of trip. Both men playing the ball, and there's no flag.
Well, I want to say this because he got tripped. I'm not saying he got purposely tripped him, but he
No,
got
it was
tripped.
accidental, but he got tripped.
It's Mike Davis, 29, and here he comes down the field. Jim Smith got bumped, and here he goes for the ball. Let's watch the feet.
Boy, and that was 6 all over it.
He got bumped again. He did have a touchdown in his hand.
Yeah, it was a bad play by Mike Davis. Played the ball, watching the ball all the way. He has as much right to it as...
But he doesn't have the right to hit the receiver.
1 second remaining in the third quarter. Tony Anderson Anderson, running well, gets another Steeler first down as time expires here in the third quarter. All right, as we see the replay, you know, that reminds me of, remember Frenchie Fuqua that played for the Steelers, number 33? Right. Looks like Frenchie. Here he comes. He's going to have a little burst. There's Buddy Curry getting blocked that time. Makes a good move to the outside. Fresh legs. They mean a lot on a night like today.
And he has no chance to make the team.
Tony Anderson puts the Steelers in good field position. We'll return for the fourth quarter in just a moment.
Sunday, Joe Namath takes a look at all kinds of Americans.
You want to put on your turn indicator, please.
At their funniest on All American Pie. Then, James Gardner and Suzanne Plachette turn the old West upside down and support your local gunfighter. Sunday.
Get ready for Football 80. Scout the teams. Get the plans with Sports Illustrated's college preview and NFL scouting reports. This announcement in Sunday's paper tells how to get both, along with Sports Illustrated at half the cover price. And here's a bonus just for watching. Circle the football on the card and get 4 extra issues free. Get it all. 2 big preview issues, SI at half price, 4 bonus issues. Look for this announcement Sunday.
How do you give your thirst a workout? Tell them what you want, make it clear. This one's for drinking. Lift it up and pump an iron. This one's for drinking. Lift it up and pump an iron. Pump an iron, city beer. Hey, give me an iron. This one's for drinking. Pump an iron and pump another. This one's for clinking. Pump an iron, city beer.
Flash floods in western Pennsylvania counties kill at least 6 people and leave dozens more homeless.
And technicians look into the crippled reactor at 3 Mile Island.
We'll have details on these and other stories when Action News joins you after the game.
There's Mel Blount, 42 career interceptions. You'd hear a lot more about him if the other teams would throw a lot more in his area. They very wisely stay away from this man.
He'll play till he's 50.
Steelers have a 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. Good effort a moment ago by Tony Anderson. We begin the fourth quarter. The Steelers on top, 14-0. Anderson gets the call again. Good tackle there defensively. Joel Williams. Oh, no.
Al Richardson.
Number 98, Al Richardson.
He's made some plays, Giff.
A rookie from Georgia Tech, 8th-round draft pick.
Good-looking player. But what you're really watching, fans, is how a football team stays great once it's great. Because you're seeing a couple of kids named Pollard and Anderson who have the look of fine runners. You know what they'll do with them? Trade them for draft choices. And then they'll make the right draft choice.
2nd down, 10. Man open to Smith. Incomplete. Good defensive play back there by Atlanta.
There's Jack Ham, has dislocated foot last year, but he's come back, and they say he's as good as ever, and that's about as good as you can be.
Oh, he is. A heady football player as well as a physical one. 3rd down, 10.
It's the way they are from Penn State.
You know, there just isn't one player that carries this team, or a group of players. They've got 60 fine football players. Such balance.
Flips out. 3rd down, 10. He completed his first 4. He's been incomplete on his last 4. Theo Bell was open for a moment and Stout overthrew the ball. And he knew he had Bell for 6. Mike Wagner in a battle to regain position he lost last year when he had a severely pulled hamstring, had to have surgery on the hamstring and his hip. But they say he's 100%. Former All-Pro battling with J.T. Thomas. And an Atlanta Falcon is now.
That's Don Smith.
Don Smith, perhaps the best pass rusher for the Falcons.
They can't
scheduled to be that nose guard in their 3-4. We have timeout on the field, and we'll be back in a moment.
Know what I like best about my Datsun? Just fill it and forget it.
Wow! It's a long way to empty.
The new front-wheel drive Datsun 310, now with 4 doors and a hatchback and a tank full of miles that'll drive you a long, long way.
Wow, it's a long way to empty. In a Datsun, we are a long way.
A swimming coach gets to be an authority on athlete's foot. My best swimmer's got it. I always recommend Absorbine Junior. Absorbine Junior with its controlled flow applicator gets right to the itch quickly. Relieves athlete's foot because it kills athlete's foot fungus on contact.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah?
It really works. The itching stops.
Great. Absorbine Junior really does work. Absorbine Junior kills fungus on contact, checks itch quickly. Try it.
Don Smith, first-round draft pick of a year ago and a superb defensive lineman at end a year ago, slated to be the nose guard in the new 3-4 of the Atlanta Falcons, is being assisted from the field. We'll try and get a further report on his condition. This is Matt Barr, his field goal attempt of 40 yards. Colquitt, the holder. And it's good. Matt Barr from 40 yards out, and the Steelers extend their lead over the Falcons. 17-0.
So that's a preseason score, and it won't count in the standings. But Atlanta, in perspective, has shown that it's improved, I believe. Pittsburgh, of course, is simply great. In the meantime, this counts, and they are sneaking up. The Yankees continue to look over their shoulders. It is now 4-3 after 8. Milwaukee has beaten Cleveland 4-1, Texas 6, Detroit 2. Those are finals, keeping you abreast of the pennant races in the major leagues. Boston 8-1 over Chicago the 8th. California defeated Minnesota 5-4. You saw the Toronto-Kansas City game, rain delay. Pittsburgh beat Montreal in a biggie. Philadelphia shut out the Mets. Chicago beat St. Louis 5-4. Giffer?
This is Reggie Smith. And Reggie Smith bites and battles his way again through the wedge, moving out over the 30-yard line, close to the 33-yard line. I'll tell you, he comes through there. He's only about knee-high to some of these big Steelers. Reggie Smith, 5'4", 165-pounder. Let's look at him again.
You know, 5'4" has got to be about as small as anybody's ever played in this league. But this little man can do it. He gets up the field. He runs hard. And he likes it.
In the past couple of years, semi-pro football with the Carolina Chargers. 1st and 10, the Falcons. They're down 17-0. Mike Borowski remains the quarterback. Borowski throws it out to Junior Miller, the rookie from Nebraska that we have been talking about this evening.
And he was hit by Dwayne Woodruff, who they think can be a great cornerback.
Yeah, I was about to say, you think Woodruff's a patsy?
Oh, he can play.
Let's talk about another. Well, let's take a look at it again. We have new setbacks in there we want to talk to you about for Atlanta.
Junior Miller will come back and say, Morosky, don't throw me that ball when somebody's that close to me.
Oh, no.
And don't turn me around at that.
Isaiah Hip is in there. A great name for Nebraska football fans. I am Hip. Quinn Jones is the other setback. Hip is 34. And down goes Morosky back at the 20-yard line.
Mr. Woodruff again.
Wayne Woodruff, who is battling, and he doesn't really have to battle. They know that he is a great football player. It's just where do they play?
Well, that was not a corner blitz, my friends. That was a safety blitz. That was a corner blitz by Woodruff. It's awful hard to play quarterback when you've got defensive backs back in the backfield throwing you for losses.
Two rookies, setbacks now for Atlanta. Quinn Jones, I started to tell you a moment ago, is the other one in there with I am Hip. Hip 34, Jones is 35, and Jones is a rookie from Tulsa. 3rd and 20. Ball at the 23-yard line of Atlanta. Borowski. Over the middle. Flag is down. Intended for Hip, and Hip was looking everywhere but for the ball, and I don't blame him.
Well, Morosky's had such a hard time with his offensive line holding him out that he's a little gun-shy, too. He really didn't throw that with much authority.
Second-round draft pick for the Steelers, Bob Corbs, almost came up with the football.
There he is, number 50. Let's watch him in his pass drop. It's a hard thing for rookies to learn at the linebacker position, but he's got a good drop, and he makes the almost interception. The ball was thrown so bad they couldn't have been completed anyway.
John James out once again. He's been busy tonight. He'll have an exhausted leg before the game's over. Tim Smith is deep at about his own 40-yard line for the Steelers. This time, Smith will have an opportunity to return it. And Smith gets over midfield inside the 45-yard line of Atlanta, where the Steelers will have 1st and 10. Hustling down there, Al Richardson for Atlanta. We'll be back.
Come on, people, one and all, everyone can use a little armor. All protecting, beautifying, most of all, it's satisfying. Armor All. Once it's sprayed, gets done inside. All the things left is why it's applied. Come on, people, one and all, everyone can use a little armor. All protecting, beautifying, most of all, it's satisfying. Armor All.
What do you think of the Midas foreign car muffler guarantee?
It's a great day for my Datsun.
A triumph for my Triumph.
A victory for my Volvo. From now on, you can Midas-size your foreign car and get the same famous guarantee we give American cars. It says if anything ever goes wrong, Midas will replace the muffler free as long as you own your car. Foreign car owners, now more than ever, it pays to Midas-size.
Whoop-de-doo for my Subaru.
Live Sunday on ABC. The Expos, Pirates, Yankees, and Orioles fight for the pennant. Check local listings for the game in your area.
New Steeler quarterback is the #1 draft pick, Mark Malone, out of Arizona State. Much like Bradshaw and much like Stout, he's 6'4", 220-pounder. He is a horse. He runs the ball probably better than he throws the football at this point. Last week, 2 of 6 against the Giants, and he had a 21-yard touchdown run called back. 1st and 10, about the 43-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. Inside handoff, and it goes to Tony Anderson. He finds an opening, splits the gap down for a pickup of about 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5.
I noted early in the last time Chuck Noll drafted a quarterback first, it was Terry Bradshaw in 1970. When he does it with a man named Mark Malone 10 years later, you know that Mark Malone has a future with this team.
There's Terry, a quick look at him. Watching Mark Malone. 2nd and 5. Malone reads the defense, dumps it off to Anderson. Anderson struggles forward, short of the 1st down, however. Out to the 35-yard line.
Cliff's still holding the football. He touched it so rarely the last 3 years, he won't give it up.
Who is charting the plays? I mean, Malone's out in the field. Bradshaw's not going to chart the plays.
They'll call Krusek in Washington.
They're going to have to. He doesn't have the headset on. 3rd down and 2. Mark Malone, good runner. He had a 98-yard touchdown run, if you'll believe that, called back last year against Utah State. Handoff. No. Well, hold the football, and he fumbled the snap. Who has it? Atlanta saying that they have it. One of the basic things to learn as a rookie quarterback, Howard, is how to take the snap from center. Atlanta comes up with the football. Do not know who got the football. Everyone seemed to be out there congratulating David Becker. In any event, the Falcons have the football, 1st and 10. The ball at the 34-yard line, 11:13 remaining here in the 4th quarter. And the Steelers have now gone 7 quarters in exhibitions, preseason games without giving up a touchdown. Not even the threat of one. A lot of new folks in there now for the Steelers. Ted Walton is playing right cornerback. He's a rookie from Cincinnati. We'll try and pick up some more of them for you. Hand off. Ball given there to number 34. That's I am Hip. Hip has not been all that impressive here for the Atlanta Falcons. Had a tremendous career at Nebraska.
Well, he didn't, Frank. He was great in his sophomore year, effective in his junior year, and then in his senior year fell off sharply.
Well, nobody's perfect. He gained over 3,000 yards at Nebraska, was my point. 2nd down and 8. Young player named Jarvis Redwine, I think, came on and kind of took the load off him. Malone lays it up. That's one of your great catches right there.
That is a great throw.
Absolutely a brilliant catch, and it was Al Jackson who has really taken up the slack tonight, considering Jenkins and Wallace Francis and Billy Rickman have been out of the action.
Well, here comes Alfred Jackson right here running against Larry Anderson, and he beats him. And Morosky throws the ball perfectly. It had to be thrown perfectly, and he did. After you see Jackson make this catch, they're going to tack on another 15 yards because there was a roughing penalty against the quarterback Morosky after he threw the pass.
Great effort by Alfred Jackson, the former Longhorn from Texas. They're tacking on the additional yardage for roughing Morosky.
Personal foul after number 65 defense. First down.
That was called against Pittsburgh Steelers. Beasley was the man.
Well, we can't see it, but it looks like he's going to pop him right in the head, and you cannot hit the quarterback in the head. That's a no-no.
A new rule?
They didn't have it when I was playing.
Ball is placed at the 15-yard line. Brian Sweeney, 86. Alfred Jackson, 85. Wide receivers for Mike Morosky. His team down 17-0. Junior Miller. Slick struggles to his feet. Picks up perhaps 3-4 yards. Dwayne Woodruff made the stop.
Well, that's a shame. I wish he had no slip, because this is one thing he can really do, is run with the football once he catches it. Here's Morosky here, going quickly out to the flat to Miller. And you will see this in years ahead when he will run over people. But here, he gets set to go, and he slips.
Second down and 6. Ball at the 10-yard line. Sweeney, the rookie from Texas A&I, switch to the right, and you think it's the Super Bowl. The crowd comes to its feet. Morosky might get in. No. He's upended by Ted Walton before he can cross the goal line. He gets the first down, however. It'll be first and goal.
It's incredible. Well, look at this crowd. They're standing as one, as if their Falcons were engaged in the Super Bowl and about to win.
You're right. They're really excited. Morosky makes another good play, a little quicker than I thought. He had to outrun some people here. And makes a dive for the end zone.
There they are, all standing.
Yeah. And they're all here. Not many have left. They're staying right here for this thing.
Morosky brings the Falcons up. They bring the 3 tight ends in. Morosky loses the football. Atlanta is saying we've got it back.
There are 8 minutes left in this football game. It's a preseason game. Doesn't matter. And look at these people.
Atlanta's football. Yeah, they have been great fans down here in Atlanta ever since the franchise was organized back in '66.
69 defense, lined up offside, still first down.
All right, Fred Anderson was lined up offside for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The penalty, half the distance to the goal. Down remains the same as first and goal. Setbacks with Quinn Jones, 35. I am hit 34. Morosky will be well advised to give it to one of them. Hit. Touchdown Atlanta. I've seen a lot of preseason games. I've never seen a crowd get this crowd.
I don't believe it.
You've got 55, 60,000 people on their feet.
One of two things. Either they're so thrilled to score against the Pittsburgh Steelers that this is the reaction, or the other thing is the thirst for victory has been so long and is still such a frustration that they react this way.
Tim Mazzetti for the conversion. considering that Mazzetti missed 7 for 6 of 37 last year. Well, he must have had the heart right in the throat. We'll be back in Atlanta in just a moment.
Here's to good friends. Tonight
Hey,
is
Phil,
special.
I thought you were taking us to dinner.
I am.
Okay, where is it?
You're standing on it.
What? Hey, a clam bake.
I suppose you got Lowenbrow, too.
Yep.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Bill, that was fantastic.
Hey, I only take my friends to the best places.
These days, when one makes a long trip, one must choose one's transportation very carefully. I choose luxury and economy. My Datsun 280ZX. It has all the luxuries to make a long trip comfortable, and it has the cruising range to make a long trip possible.
The Datsun 280ZX. More miles per tank full than any other sports car you can buy.
We all should have one.
Wow, it's a long way to empty. In a Datsun, a long way.
Number 28, Nate Johnson, is a rookie, a 7th-round draft pick for the Steelers from Hillsdale College in Michigan. He does a 4.440, has run a 100-yard dash at 9.2. The Steelers want to keep him, but they really don't quite know where to keep him. He's shown exceptional talent, and it might be that this will be his spot, running back kickoffs. George Portello, a free agent from Auburn, will kick off for Atlanta. They're going to try an onside kick, I believe. You're right, Frank. They've adjusted on the left. Their men. Mazzetti tries to skip it. It must go 10. It did not go 10 yards to begin with, and good hands were there. That's Gerald Glusick, a rookie from Indiana State who came up with the ball for the Steelers. 8:04 remaining in the game. I'm not sure that was too well advised either. Of course, these are the things you practice in preseason. Right. And you get the work, and then when you get into the regular season play, you have the experience, the confidence in being able to do it. So the Steelers have the football. 44-yard line of Atlanta. Quarterback remains the rookie, number 1 draft pick from Arizona State, Mark Malone. Alvin Sweeney, 85, 1 wide receiver with T-Bell, number 83. Handoff, Tony Anderson, a second-year man out of Temple. Up the middle for a yard and a half. Call it 2nd and 9.
Yes, by and large, the Falcon defense has held its own tonight. At times, it looks like they were going to bend and fold, but they've come back and played very, very hard. They're improved. When healthy, they'll be a middle-of-the-road football team.
Bill Ring comes in, 41, a rookie from Brigham Young. But this is Frank Pollard, the rookie from Baylor. And Pollard is running very sharply tonight. He gets the first down. Moving inside the 35, close to the 33. Mike Davis made the stop against Pollard. Little Robert Newhouse, as we all have already mentioned, a little larger. He's 5'10", a 210-pounder. Let's look at him again.
Here they're swinging the guards. Penny's coming out in front of him. He's getting a block from the offensive receiver. He breaks the tackle. He wants to make the team, and he has a long shot to do it.
A very long shot, but a good-looking player.
Pitches out to Pollard. Pollard scuffles his way to the 30-yard line for a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. And I have a feeling that Mark Malone has been told by Chuck Noll, let's keep it on the ground. I want to look at these runners. So we are seeing Pollard. We have watched Bill Ring, a rookie from Brigham Young. Tony Anderson, the only free agent to make the Steeler team a year ago. He's out of Temple.
I think Chuck's been playing a lot of tennis. A bit trimmer through the midriff.
2nd and 7. Bill Ring, inside handoff and upended. Good defensive play.
And so Edgar Fields, Skip, from Texas A&M, and he makes some plays for the Falcons.
Loss of about a yard and a half. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Fields a starter a year ago, of course, a defensive end. Now in this or a defensive tackle, rather, now in the 3-4 that Atlanta says they're going to use predominantly. They have a hard time finding a home, but he made a good stop there. 3rd and 9. Malone in trouble. Joe Williams gets Malone. The ball pulled loose after Joe Williams had captured Malone, and the whistle blew.
Williams a ball player.
He is a ball player. I watched Mark Malone, and I have some empathy for him because he's looking down the field and everything looks blurry. There'll be a time in his career when he'll read it and it'll be clean down the field. But right now, nothing's clean.
You know, we talked about the problem of who you keep. That was the reason Atlanta got Joe Williams. I'm quite sure Don Shula, with all of his fine linebackers down in Miami, he didn't want to cut this youngster, but he let him go on the last cut, figuring that maybe no one would pick him up. He could keep him around.
Might want him back, Frank. Larry Gordon hasn't reported in yet.
4th and 15, and Malone will go for it. Man was open briefly, Brian Calvin Sweeney, but hustling in there to make the play was Mike Davis, the rookie from Colorado for Atlanta. And Atlanta will take over the football with 5:22 remaining in the 4th quarter. Take a look at Sweeney, the rookie from Texas A&I.
He's there for a moment. He's going against Mike Davis. This has been a trouble spot, cornerback position for the Falcons. This is a rookie, and he's covering Sweeney pretty nicely. Sweeney goes back towards the ball like a receiver should do it. Davis made a good play.
And Sweeney.
I don't believe this crowd. I don't believe this crowd.
Really cheering. Roski finds the open man.
That's Mike Smith.
Smith is the receiver. Mike Smith.
Out of Old Brandon.
You believe this noise?
I did not believe this noise. And here's a guy so far down the depth chart, he did everything he could get a chance to play. Comes across that middle, looking for the ball. He's waving. He said, I'm open. Throw it. Borowski did.
1st and 10. Handoff. I am hit at the line of scrimmage. At the risk of having a bunch of angry alumni all over my back, a moment ago I identified Calvin Sweeney as Brian Sweeney. Calvin Sweeney, of course, the receiver, the intended receiver on the 4th down pass by the Steelers, is from USC. 4:09 in the 4th quarter.
Well, he's got to put it up.
2nd and 11. Mike Smith, 90, is in there with Alfred Jackson, 85, and wide receiver for Atlanta. He's open. Mike Smith.
I tell you, this crowd is unbelievable. They really are. And Mike Smith is unbelievable. He can't believe it's happening to him.
Flag is down. We will have a roughing call against the Steelers, against Atlanta's quarterback, Mike Borowski.
Oh, I mean, Mike Smith turned Ted Walton completely around. Here's Mike Wagner trying to tackle. Oops. He threw Mike Wagner off. They got the mode going for him.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 69 defense, 1st down.
I think the crowd is the story.
They really are.
Oh, they are something.
It's unbelievable.
They're crowding Mike Smith now.
1st down Atlanta. The 25-yard line. 3:44 remaining in the 4th quarter. Atlanta down 17-7. Flag is down. Pass was intended for Junior Miller. He was open.
He was open. He was too late throwing the ball to him.
He had beaten the rookie Walton.
Yeah, but I thought he pushed him off, Frank. However, that's not the penalty.
Offsides against the Steelers.
protection. He should have thrown it a little earlier because Junior Miller had him beat. He waited too late to throw the ball. He's running out of end zone. But to Ted Walton's credit, he made a good play.
Ball is at the 20-yard line. Down remains the same. 1st and 5. Alfred Jackson split to the right. Mike Smith in the slot. He got it. Into the corner to Mike Smith. Touchdown. Smith. Mike Smith, the rookie from Grambling. They say he's too slow, and he runs good patterns, has good hands. But he has had 3 catches in this drive.
He may have made this football team. He'll remember this night always.
All right, but the key to this thing is the protection he's getting. He's running a corner pattern, good protection. He throws a wobbler, but it gets there. There's Mike Smith. He's beaten Dwayne Woods with that time. That's a quality defensive back, as we have said. He didn't beat a newcomer, a good back. Touchdown Atlanta. My goodness.
Conversion attempt by George Portella, a free agent from Auburn. And Atlanta has pulled to within 3 of the Pittsburgh Steelers here in the 4th quarter. 3:31 remaining, and we'll be returning to Atlanta in a moment.
When it comes to fighting rust, there are 2 types of people.
I want to do it fast. I want to make it last.
For both, there's Rust-Oleum. Rust-Oleum's original fish oil primer goes right through rust to bare metal, so you get long-lasting protection.
It lasts.
And it comes in handy sprays, so it's easy to apply.
It's fast.
Not to mention 40 beautiful colors.
If you're going to do it fast, you might as well make it last. Good point.
Now that they're 20% off, you're going to love our pockets even more. The pockets of JCPenney's Plain Pockets jeans and shirts for men and boys. Even at their regular prices, Plain Pockets cost less than the best-selling brand. But now, at 20% off, the savings are absolutely incredible. So there's something extra you can put into our pockets you can't put into theirs. JCPenney's Plain Pockets. The big difference between us and them is now even bigger.
3:31 remaining in the 4th quarter. Tim Massetti back into the game. He left earlier, and Portella, a rookie from Auburn, was doing the kickoff. One would suspect that they are thinking onside kick. You're looking deep at Nate Johnson, and there's a youngster that caught that touchdown pass. Mike Smith,
that is
5'10", rookie from Grambling.
That is happiness.
All right, what will it be? Do you kick it away? Try to hold them? You need 3 to tie it up and move into overtime.
I think they'll kick it away. And try to hold them on 3 downs and get some field position.
Kick it away. It'll be Nate Johnson, speedster rookie from Hillsdale College of Michigan. And his one thought was hold on to the football.
All right, here comes Mike Smith again. Watch him at the top of your screen. Number 90 against Dwayne Woodruff. He makes a tremendous move on him. The ball is right on the money, but he stretches, catches it. He just clips that post.
How did he call that a touchdown?
Well,
third time I've seen it, and he didn't score yet.
He hit that little orange thing down there. That's enough.
Well, it was awfully close. Mike Kowalski is 7 of 9 for 100 yards and a touchdown. Mark Malone brings the Steelers up. Tony Anderson. And Anderson struggling to stay inbounds to keep the clock running.
I bet he catches it again, Gil. Does he score? All right, you people out there, you tell me. His left foot hit the post. Now, whether that counts or not, I don't know.
2:55. Clock ticking away. Good effort on the part of Tony Anderson. Stayed in bounds.
Well, you know they're going to play the run tough now. They're going to be hard pressed to get a first down running.
Both teams have 3 timeouts. thing to do. First down. Good pass. Mark Malone to Theo Bell, who is also in a battle to make this football team. They have John Stallworth, they have Lynn Swan, they have Jim Smith.
What this crowd doesn't understand with their partisan emotionalism is Pittsburgh can do what it wants, when it wants. Their players aren't in there.
Yeah, but it's fun this way.
It is fun this way. And Atlanta's got, two rookie quarterbacks out there. They got a backup quarterback. But this is kind of fun right now.
Steelers first and 10. The ball at their own 46-yard line. This is Frank Pollard. And Pollard, like Anderson before him, turns inside to keep the clock moving. And they'll take it down to the 2-minute warning. One would suspect that Atlanta will stop the clock. Yes, they have.
Take it right now.
No, the referee saying it's his timeout. An injury that we did not see right in front of the Atlanta bench, and it is an Atlanta Falcon. So that stops the clock. That is Joe Williams, who's played tremendous football tonight for the Falcons. We will not speculate. He appears to be all right. Perhaps the wind knocked from him. Legs appear to be fine, and he's up on his feet.
Yeah, let's talk about that controversial touchdown. That's why they stopped using the flag and they put the marker down. And the rule is if you hit the marker with any part of your body, it's a touchdown.
I knew you'd come up with that.
Okay, you don't have to call McNally or Nick Scorch.
Clock is started, and it will tick down to the 2-minute warning. Steelers will not attempt to get the play underway. Surprised Atlanta does not use the timeout to stop it. There it is, a 2-minute warning. Good second half by this youngster.
And Eddie LeBaron, the general manager here, thinks that this guy can play.
2 minutes remaining for Atlanta. Ball is on the 48-yard line. It is second down. Pittsburgh has the football. We'll be back.
If keeping up with your car is getting you down, fight back with STP. STP gas treatment fights to keep your carburetor clean, and that can help keep your engine running like it ought to. Try STP oil treatment. A recent test with older cars that use a lot of oil proved it reduced oil consumption an average of nearly 15% in those cars. Come on, fight back with STP.
Used to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. The beer.
Building inspector.
Hey, what are you guys doing here?
I didn't believe you two could build your own house.
Yeah, well, don't look. It's not finished.
Well, I guess we'll just take our low and brown go.
Well, maybe one quick look around.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be low and brown.
What are you going to do when you finish this place? Just what I'm doing right now.
We're back in Atlanta. The Falcons trailing 17-14. They have 3 timeouts remaining. Pittsburgh has the football. Second down, the ball on the 48-yard line. Second, we will call it 8. Pittsburgh Steelers rolling out anyone and everyone they have on their roster, as has Atlanta. They'll cut both these squads to 60 next Tuesday. They're taking a long look. Atlanta would love to get the football back. He's got the room. He's got the running room, and he's up there close to another Steeler first down. In which case, Atlanta will be forced to start using their timeouts.
I'll tell you, Giff, that was some kind of a tackle there to prevent him maybe from making the first down by Bob Glazebrook.
Bob Glazebrook from Fresno State. Time has been stopped as we get the measurement, and inches short is Frank Pollard.
It looked like he had it made easily until Glazebrook came out of nowhere and just stopped him in his tracks.
So it'll be third down now. sellout crowd here in Atlanta, and most of them have stuck around.
Well, obviously, if Atlanta has any chance at all, they've got to stop them on this third down play so they can have a chance at the football.
Third, and you saw how much. Pollard gets the call, has the first down, big opening. And down to the 30-yard line is Frank Pollard, who has shown some nifty running here tonight.
Pittsburgh has been using this play for years. They put the man in motion. He'll be a lead blocker for Pollard. The guard comes around. They break the seam there, and he almost broke it for a touchdown. Good execution by, second, third, fourth line players, Howard.
Atlanta uses one of their timeouts. They now have two. 1:10 remaining on the scoreboard clock. There it is.
Well, Giff, the head of the officials of the NFL, Art McNally, has corrected me. He said unless the football crosses the plane of the goal line, there's no touchdown. How can he refute my judgment? Now, the football didn't go over the goal line. I was trying to defend the officials, Giff. I want to be on their side for a change.
Well, I think Art must know what he's talking about. I hope we don't have to look at it again, is all.
I know it. Thank you for the correction, Art.
What was that?
I said thank you for the correction. Maybe the first time I've been wrong in the last 2 years.
It is. You've got to see. All right, the Yankees won a big one. They lead by 3.5. Milwaukee over Cleveland. Texas beat Detroit. Boston beat Chicago. California over Minnesota. KC over Toronto in the 7th. Pittsburgh won a big one over Montreal. Philadelphia blanked the Mets. Chicago at St. Louis. Houston, San Diego knotted. Dodgers leading Cincinnati. San Francisco leading Atlanta.
And Mark Malone will work on the clock. Well, he might get 6. Going for T-Bell. Incomplete.
That's okay.
T-Bell caught a touchdown pass last week against the Giants. Malone looks over to the sidelines, gets some instructions. Clock stopped at 1:02 with the incompletion. Second down, 10. Atlanta, even though they're basically looking at players tonight would like to win this football game, they'll be going after the football. Trying to strip it. This is Pollard, who covers it up well. Gets down close to the 25-yard line. They'll mark it about the 26, where it'll be third down at 4.
Your analogy
calls timeout.
Your analogy is apt, Frank, of Pollard to Frenchie Fuqua, too. Was it Pollard you were likened to Frenchie Fuqua?
No, it was number 33 I was liking Frenchie Fuqua.
Oh.
And that was Anderson.
All right.
Just like him. But Pollard looks like a Robert Newhouse. Both of them are playing.
I had likened Pollard to Robert Newhouse, but he's not that unlike Frenchie Fuqua.
No, he's not either.
If you remember the Morgan State team that played in the first Urban League game against Grambling in New York in 1969, Morgan State had Fuqua and George Knock in the backfield.
And the quarterback for Grambling was James Harris.
That's correct.
Everybody has to look like somebody. This ABC Sports Exclusive is being brought to you by Datsun, who would like to remind you that it's a long way to empty in a Datsun. A long way. 53 seconds remaining on the clock. One timeout remains for Atlanta. Pittsburgh has a third down and 4. The ball is at the 26-yard line. Mark Malone, the rookie quarterback, first-round draft pick out of Arizona State, directing the attack for the Steelers. They lead 17-14. Smith, incomplete. Clock stops, 44 seconds. Mike Davis, and they're defending for the Atlanta Falcons. I'll tell you, Mike Davis, a rookie out of Colorado, a 6th-round draft pick, has been rather prominent tonight. He has Atlanta, and they are desperately looking for help in that secondary.
He hasn't looked bad. Colorado had a terrible year, and they had more men drafted than perhaps any other college, which makes you wonder. Jets drafted John Johnson, number 4. Giants drafted Haynes, number 1. All from Colorado.
Remember the big offensive tackle block. With the Kansas City.
4th down and 4. Steelers working on the clock. Pollard, and he's dropped at the 30-yard line. And immediately Curry indicates he would like to call timeout. That is the final timeout for Atlanta with 37 seconds remaining.
Well, that's the linebacker they like. Buddy Curry, number 15. He made a big play for him.
Well, as you look at Lehman Bennett pace the sidelines, this is a seasoned coach now. He knows his business. He knows that his team has shown him some things that he can feel pretty good about, but he also knows he's quite away from a Super Bowl team.
That's an accurate analysis.
Mike Morosky brings the Falcons up. He has no timeouts. Flag is down. Morosky throws intended for Jackson, incomplete. But again, a flag is down. I'd like to tell you, the executive producer of ABC Sports is Bruin Arledge. ABC's NFL Preseason Football, produced by Terry O'Neill. There you see the indication against the Atlanta Falcons, offsides. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, directed by Jeff Forty. Our technical director, Bill Morris. Associate director, Rob Feiner. Technical manager, Coach Coldring. Unit manager is Bob Gravelli.
You know, as the game winds down, Howard, I think the key thing for the Steelers is to play a close out. The one vulnerable position they have is Bradshaw, quarterback. If he happens to go down, who would play? He's down now for 2 weeks in a row, has shown that he can play the position.
Also, they've got a good-looking rookie and a kid they didn't think was that good. Goodman out of Oklahoma.
1st and 10. Morosky fires and is incomplete. Should have been caught there by Mike Smith. Took his eyes off it, no doubt. Looking for running room, incomplete.
Well, here comes Mike Smith coming out now against Ron Johnson. He runs a corner pattern. Runs a good pattern. There's Woodruff deep on him. Ball's in there. He just dropped it.
What they say about him is true, however, Fran. He runs a pretty good pattern.
Yes, he does.
2nd and 15. 26 seconds. Morosky. Trouble. The clock will stop with the sack of the quarterback at the 23-yard line. John Goodman was the man who was in there defensively for the Steelers, and he's shown well tonight. 2nd-round draft pick out of Oklahoma.
As you look at John Goodman there, kind of thing the fan doesn't get to know about. One of the reasons that the Steelers were doubtful about him is that Oklahoma does not have a weight pressing program. Right. So his upper body strength was suspect to them. It's proved out, however, that he has strength they didn't believe he had. And so, unnoticeably, this young man now has a very real chance to make the best team in football.
So Atlanta uses their final timeout. We thought they'd already expired them. I want to remind you, ABC Sunday afternoon baseball coming your way. The coach will be traveling to Pittsburgh for that one. Montreal against Pittsburgh. Expos, of course, with Ron LaFleur, base stealing expert. Very important American League East contest. The New York Yankees will be battling the Baltimore Orioles, one of the hottest teams since the All-Star break. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. This ABC's Sunday Sunday baseball coming your way this Sunday over most of these ABC stations. Third down and about 17. The ball at the 23-yard line. Atlanta can no longer stop the clock. And incomplete. 10 seconds now. That intended for Alfred Jackson. Boy, I'll tell you, Chuck Noll keeps his heart in the football game. He doesn't care whether it's preseason or not. He's shown a couple little emotions tonight that you don't see much during the season.
Well, there's an interesting thing on that play. Dwayne Woodruff made a try for the ball and tipped it up. And if he doesn't, if the ball goes to Jackson, he's got the whole field to run to for a touchdown. Watch this. Tips it up. But if he just misses that, Jackson's got the whole sideline.
Fourth down. Hang it up and hope for the best. Almost picked off by Wagner. It was intended for Mike Smith. 2 seconds on the clock. That should do it. Pittsburgh will put it in play. That will be the football game. I'd like to remind you again of a great season coming your way here on Monday Night Football beginning September the 8th. The Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. Don Meredith, of course, will be with us then. And, of course, next weekend, we'll be up in Foxborough for the Philadelphia Eagles and the New England Patriots. Philly, by the way, beat the New York Jets tonight, 28-13. Interesting game. Interesting in many respects tonight because of the tremendous reaction by the Atlanta fans. You would have thought it was a regular season or a playoff game. And Atlanta battled back under quarterback Mike Borowski. As you look at the Steelers, Mark Malone just running the clock out, which he does. So once again, our final score is the Pittsburgh Steelers 17, Atlanta 14. Travel arrangements made through and a promotion will be paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. That's what friendly skies are all about. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. Again, the Steelers 17, the Atlanta Falcons 14.